Murray. Hey, cutting. Wait 1 sec. Hey, Ian. Hey, Ghost. Hey, Mallet. I'm probably gonna start. I got Breeze. No. Pearl are best to finish. I'm probably gonna start with Pearl because I want to see. I remembered how all gamers played, and I want to see if X or G fall into any mistakes that all gamers made on their defense. So Pearl, despite obviously both teams winning it quite easily. I don't have pickups. How long away are we from Santiago? No, unfortunately not doing anything for desk for Santiago. We have a week. We have a week. Like, I like if I was to do pickup, like, you gotta view it from my perspective, right? I work the EMEA desk, so I know a lot about EMEA, and I know a little bit about Americas because I watched it casually. And I know a very tiny amount about APAC because I coach a team in APAC. So my knowledge is very minimal on China, Americas, and APAC. And so if I was to do pick'ems and stuff now, I'd just be a fraud. Like, the tournament's too hard to predict. I'd like to know my shit before I start predicting stuff. I would look like a fraud if I start predicting right now. I still think everyone's gonna look like a fraud anyway because the tournament's so hard to predict. But yeah. Hey Deluxe, yeah, I slept well. I'm so tired though. Straight away, we're seeing aggressive stars being used, so already better than all gamers. We're not seeing a forward Yoru or a TP cross map, but it is a 3A 2B. I don't know why Raga isn't the player here. Like, Astra should be here, and Yoru should be here ideally. Yoru has better fighting capabilities. Astra can still, if the Yoru is here, can still have TP here to be cross map. Astra can still do her shit across the map. This obsession with playing Jet Yoru is a little bit weird to me. Why are people so bad at breaking recons? It's so funny. The defense have won this are in better position. Very strange from attack. Attack has 2 drones, Teo drone and Fade drone, and isn't using either to confirm full information. So the way that I see comps like this in my head is that I would always want to try and find the gaps on the map, right? So we've revealed, and we know there's people here. They haven't even bought a... Why have they not bought a drone? Okay. Ghost second salvo. I mean, I think I'd want drone a lot in pistol. So they reveal here, it's like now we have the opportunity to use a drone to figure out what's going on the map. Like we could use it up art to kind of get it for free. We could use it belong and take belong. Like, I don't know. Double drone teams seem quite poor right now in understanding how to use 2 drones. Like, we know they're here. We don't need to commit into them because we have other ways to scale them up. Hey, Devil.
位置。
卢西亚得保住队友，小编还是倒
锁死了，走不了了。
给烟后撤，
要抓。
卢西亚多打了一个，把人数掰平了，脚已经
这个开。
那对于奈夫来说，还
Sorry. Just writing some notes for BOG just in case I need them. Do you think the rest of Faye's kit is good enough to make up the fact that Sova gets a bounceable tiny dot and she gets a large circle? I think it's more competitive than I think it is quite competitive still, Fade versus Sova. But I think at ideal skill ceiling Valorant, that stuff doesn't matter as much. And Fade having more utility matters at like skill ceiling Valorant, I'd say. In like lower tier Valorant, like I think Sova is probably better, and the higher you go, Fade probably is better. Nice forward. Okay, we see it now. Now we see the 3 here with the Astra here. So way better. Way better. I'm just gonna save it. I think for if we do Plat China segment, I think I might try and do a little gimmicky presentation about why I think XLG are better than AG or something. But why are you not TPing? Wait, I've accidentally pressed the button I should have pressed. So at this very second, as soon as Happyway gets contact here, Yori should be TPing. Whaley can start pushing up. But he's not TPing. Okay, he's very late. Very, very late. Double art sub now. I like what XLG are so much better. XLG actually plays stuff that makes sense. Anti-bonus round, they go for an aggressive pick middle. I like this team. I like this team. Hey, no man. How you doing, bro? I've started positive. When I compare you with all gamers with the stuff that you guys are doing on the map at the start of rounds, like you're being coached a lot better. You guys are better. It was very frustrating watching all gamers as pro. I think in this position it's interesting. With 5v4, we're just giving up middle control, which I think is fine. Let's see. Wait, let's go back. Does the kill happen mid? Braga insta TPs. If I'm Braga now, I go this side and put TP this side. The only argument not to is because there's noise here. But generally speaking, this position, I prefer my Euro to be B side of the map. It's a lot, I think it's a lot, I want to be in position to hold B than to hold A. If you look at what actually happens here, we end up in a formation that's very passive anyway. So why not just be on the site that's actually better to hold? Generally speaking, you will see teams lean heavier towards A. But I think it's skill ceiling pro, it's better to lean B against teams that actually know what they're doing. Because teams who go B aggressively, I think will fuck you up. We still see him cognizant. Don't hate the idea here, 5v4. It does feel a little bit uncomfortable now. We don't have, obviously, any map control at all, like, anywhere. So now, like, ideally you'd want some information back, but it's kind of hard with our positions. Is BLG going for a fake on B? A, sorry? Maybe? That Prowler not hitting is kind of... It would have been nice for a BLG if that Prowler hit. That might pull this rotation. Nope, okay. That's a gravity well and not a smoke? That's crazy. If they just peek here. And you see what happens here? Because the Yoru isn't here, and is instead here and TPing, this happens. I do think Lysor's position here is really bad, considering we're weak side. Like, like his job is to stay alive as long as possible. And so playing back here in this space is probably a lot better. And then the Astra probably should be ready. It should be something like that, probably. Or you're gonna, or like even here, like somewhere that's like not, that's really hard to clear. A little bit of a throw. It's nice. So that's YZ. Yeah, the B hold was a bit rough. If they did what I said with the Euro leaning B side, it would have looked a lot better, obviously. Don't get too excited. It doesn't get much better. I mean, I'd be honest though, but like, I've been mostly negative when I've been watching. Not you guys specifically, but in general. So, I think that like, I think you guys have to be the shining light, really. I'm kind of excited to watch EDG though. I don't think maybe I should be, but I am. Why do you think Astra's used more in this meta than other controllers on most maps? Astra, you're unfortunately in the wrong, well, maybe the right place or the wrong place. I think that Astra has always been better than Omen. So you're probably speaking. You're kind of talking to the choir a little bit. I think that if you go down the list of stuff, it's like Omen ult is obviously not as good as Astra ult. Paranoia is like just a little bit overrated, and especially now with the nerfs is overrated. I think defensively, it's like a get out of jail free card for when you are like stuck on a site or something. It's fine. But I think that Astra in general just provides far more value. And in this meta specifically, when there's less utility, the dissipate stars to scale are really, really good. But yeah, in general, I think it's skill ceiling like Astra's a much better agent. And then the map pool right now leans itself towards Astra style maps, where like you'll traditionally see Astra on like wide maps, big wide maps, and the current map pool has a lot of them, so it's more popular.
直接刚了。对 ，Raga 也是补了把狙进来，其实 Raga 上一张图的最后几枪也是比较可惜，最后几狙。那这个回合是一个轮次提前的回合，或者上。
I like the fact we're doing two things at once. Pressure here and pressure here. It feels like a very... It does feel like a sub that is a little bit... Like, it doesn't... It's a very... How do I explain it? The Killjoy doesn't really support the Yoru that hard here, and the util behind is just like... It's like 1 layer, 2 layer, I guess. It's interesting to see what the protocols are for dealing with middle. I generally think that it's fine to lose a bit of middle. I think it's a bit rougher, but because we have a main, it's fine. I want to see like what the reactions are from these sides when we lose stuff on the map. And can BLG problem solve the fact that like they're probably going to walk into middle and notice it's free? What does BLG do knowing that the middle is fully free? If I see them do this, they're lost. But you could see them like literally leaving lurks and stuff because of this. I think the best thing about having middle for free is that you can leave like lurks. Hey, Fanger.
来看一下怎么去做一些更多的部署吧。B 小这边的压力有给到，但是 B 大只要这把狙在这儿，我觉得就还好。Raga 感觉还要推，还要推 ，TP 时间已经差不多到了。最后1秒。
Oh my god.
没辙，这个地方没辙。时间
Doesn't like it should have been.
然后第二时间那边的车来，但 Raga 立刻。
I don't love this fade Prowler. It just gives away that we're here.
换位置，这个车应该扫不到，因为队友在帮他打。而且他还有一个在要枪位的过程，对他应该已经绕到 B 场的直架枪位了。对，那这样去把人驱赶到中区夹 A 了。中区夹 A 场顶住 ，XLG 这个时候就顶住等回防，然后断一点。然后家里面
It's kind of awkward.
由星坠 Happy 为坐镇的，晃到了应该是。56已经懂了，对面要来打 A， 反爪子，反减速弹，开始拖时间。
I think that probably should have been a smoke, really, just to delay 40 seconds. This, I think this guy needs to be focused here and let the Killjoy... Both teams playing this round fine. What is he doing, bro? Leo should be up with... Leo should be up fighting with Noman, and then this Astra should be watching the back. He's like isolated himself completely. Yeah. I kind of think... I think a problem stems from Uraga using this TP at this point. This is like really detailed. Really detailed. Like, I think the round is a lot harder because Raga uses his TP right now. And I think it stems from there. Because he doesn't get the TP back in time. Like, if he uses the TP now and puts it further away, starts his push-up. I don't know, something feels off. I don't know why. Okay, this guy's also getting a bit confused. And then this guy's looking back. This guy just needs to be watching here. And they need to be aggressive up. And there should be a smoke here, probably.
那就看 A 小 A 小到了，但是不管 A 小究竟 A 大，没有人能帮到。
They're getting a bit confused. You saw there was like a bit of hesitation here, here, and even here. So something went wrong. Hey, what's your name? Ivonel. Ivonel? Vonel? I'm good, how are you? Wait, did the XOG end up winning that? I'm happy we ended up getting a frag anyway. This is a... I would try to... I think in post-plant you always want to try and get one of these two. And so by ulting like this, you're basically accepting you're not going to get one of these two. So I wouldn't mind the ult being a bit more like that, trying to plant here and encouraging a push through an art. Especially when you have fade out. Now this fade out does nothing. Okay, conditioning stars, nice. We're gonna go for a fight on B long. Yori should be able to TP this way, but his TP's late. That's fine. His TP should be cross map. I don't know why he's putting it CT. Should be cross map. We have 4 people this side of the map. Ballsy from Leo to be up here, especially solo, considering they could just be fast up R, and he'll be stuck by himself. I would like this for a gun run, not for an anti-eco. I think I prefer Killjoy playing more as like someone who could be crossfiring these spaces. That makes sense. Because now this drops. They could be here, here. This guy doesn't know what's going on. This guy doesn't know what's going on. There's like lots of question marks. Whereas if Killjoy was sit here right now, they would have info here. They'd have info here. They would have info here, obviously. Did he miss the TP lineups to spawn? No, he keeps putting his TP here. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. What's the next VOD review? Tomorrow will be EDG. And then after Plat Chat, we'll probably go to Americas. And then we'll probably go to APAC. And then we'll finish off with Mates and Team Liquid.
OK， 你放包，那 Raga 叶林直接给，哎，他这个大招规避了，躲掉了。那现在有2个怀疑，第一是在 A 通，第2是在大坑的附近。而且现在 Raga 是一把狙击枪啊，Nef 还是被找到了，打到残局里面反而是一个不确定性的因素了。Nef 得找人，他得把这个大招打出来才有机会赢。狙击枪，有大，好像往歪，直接交大。
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Happy way over commits.
不好说喽，不好说喽。但是 Raga 的位置还是很好，闪压踢吗？应该不会了。这个锚点留在这儿，再做打算。往 Y 字里面一路伸进去，看看有没有一些机会。Raga 真的看都不看这背后的锚点啊！你有本事踢给我看。我是6控制住的 A 小画家，他不确定会走他的正面还是背面，背面全是弹幕，正面也是。
哎，好像能看到这个台面又回头了。
我这里完全不知道人的信息从哪。
真有了，一个点看到了。
打掉是最好的选择。OK， 穿两发开拖，叶林直接给。哎，他这个大招规避了。
Oh, the fade out's bait. I mean, the fade out's too early.
OK， 你放包，那 Raga 等回防。
Oh, wait, it's not too early. He's trying to get the fade out dead, so he's tagged the entire time, and then the retake's easier. It's a kind of nice idea, I think. But unfortunately, he doesn't hear the plant is here, and so the ult is way more towards this side. Yeah, ping's coming out. Good prowler. Should be scaling up a little bit more quicker. I mean, it's kind of stupid. I honestly thought he was going to do this. I thought he was going to throw this ult and then just walk here. I would immediately take the duel here and then walk to here.
Raga 抓住了这个稍纵即逝机会，如果去到了 A 小，我感觉又不好说了。真正的残局大师啊，那但这全是100分，没有任何一分是那啊，我拿过来了。其实玩的很经济，在手 Happy 为这分是起了把判官。先找一下对面的狙击枪吗？这一份 BLG 没有任何一个人踩中。Raga 在推狙 ，Raga 在推狙，来了。这位置推得很外面，消散结束 ，Raga 拿到了一个非常好的枪位，但是锚点的时间其实已经有点紧迫。等锚点的时间来了 ，Raga 没错。但是锚点的时间其实已经。
Full retake B. What?
没有任何一个人。
we do have ults, and they haven't proved they can scale B yet. But Astra, what should be happening here? It's basically Happyway has Judge, and they haven't problem solved quick enough, I don't think. Lysor should just have a setup on B. It should just be Killjoy here, Astra here. You keep these two here, and then the Fade plays here. You put a star for them. This is... Killjoys should have... They should be flexible with their setup because they have a Judge, if that makes sense. Usually Astra probably would be here, but Happyway's got Judge. And then they can still play for retake B with these ults if they want to. But you can't just have no vision on B at all, because they can just walk up too easy. I'm hoping that this drone actually does something, and they're not gonna into aim. Oh yeah, they do instant aiming. Okay. Why is Bud activating his lurk when we've got B-Long for free and pushed off a Yoru? Why is this timing? Why does he think this is a timing? Guess maybe it's something to do with ults, I don't know. Maybe he wants to catch rotates. I feel like I don't do a very good job of explaining myself when I say these things. Maybe it's because I talk in shorthand. Of course, his intention here is to catch rotates. My claim, though, is that he's never going to catch a rotate. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but he's not gonna get a kill here.
B 点打了个照面。那 B 小这边得上压力，但是对8的来。
It's not late enough. Like this happens, and therefore there is going to be attention drawn towards B, but he needs to wait longer, and I can't explain to you why.
这一道关太难过了，王浩哲虽然已经摸了进来，但是场面的劣势有点大。我觉得从 BLG 角度上可能想不到这把判官。再来，王浩哲要去承接这个局面，感觉2打4，出去一定守不了，只能在点里面去换，直接夜路开大搜点。B 小王浩哲的位置如果被搜到会很尴尬，他跟队友互相有点照应不上。王浩哲也先找人没找到，自己主动报了位置，看到了白，
要抓，
要追要追，
是一定要抓的。
哦，泼水泼死了，自己踢出去还不错，人数就不窄了。
踢到 B 大被。
It's a reaction from someone on his team dying. Yeah, I mean, I agree it's a bad reaction. The problem though is that this is one of those things. You remember when I remember praising Leo, the Fnatic player, because his decision making is very good. Because you have different resources in Valorant, right? You have time, positioning, player count, like economy status, and ult status, right? Like your decisions need to be fed in by like all of these things. In this moment, our timing and positioning, our positioning on the map, like our map control, I guess map control is like, our map control is too good right now to warrant trying to take a 50-50. Which isn't even a 50-50. It's going to be like a 35-40, you know? Like we want to let this play out a little bit, let this breathe, because we have a free site basically, and we should know our site is pretty free here. Like our map control is way too good. It kind of means everything else is irrelevant. Obviously the annoying thing here, the annoying thing here is that the enemy has lots of ults, so there will need to be a good lurk timing happening, and it should be probably earlier than usual, but it shouldn't be straight after this Euro ult. Why did the Astra Judge leave doors to B and Killjoy stayed to hold the doors afterwards though? Because they have ults to play retake with, probably. And they're in a 5v4. There's no immediate, like, think about it this way. If they start running down here, are they going to get there in time anyway to stop anything from happening? Probably not. So whilst I think they should start scaling this way, I think even if this timing happens and they're scaling this way, they're still going to get the kill on this guy, probably. Because they shouldn't be just running down. They should be, like, cautiously scaling downwards. Fanger in YouTube chat? I'm sorry, I don't look at YouTube chat at all. I'm very sorry if people were talking in YouTube chat.
闪家假人想拿对面家里面，但对面家里根本就没人。B 小2度再来，突然出现的留一手，哎，想把这个爆能继续拍下来。王浩哲要去承接这个局面。
Maybe I should have it up more. I think whilst my stream is still only on this, like, there were times when I would get like a lot more viewers, and it was impossible to keep up with both chats. I think with like this many viewers, I think it's probably alright. So maybe I'll keep YouTube chat up on a little bit more. Hello, Fanger.
只能在点里面去换，直接夜路开大搜点。B 小王浩哲的位置如果被搜到会很尴尬，他跟队友互相有点照应不上。王浩哲先找人没找到，自己主动报了位置，看到了白，
要抓，
要追要追，
是一定要抓的。
哦，泼水。王浩哲的位置如果被搜，只能在点里面。王浩互相有点照应不上，王浩哲也先找人，根本就没人。B 小2度再来，突然出现的留一手，绝2打搜点。B B 小王浩哲的位置如果被搜到会很尴尬，他跟队友互相有点照应不上。王浩哲也先找人没找到，自己主动报了位置，看到了白。
Euro ult, Waylay ult.
是一定要抓的。
哦，泼水泼死了，自己踢出去还不错，人数力不窄了。
Okay.
B 大被抓了。
奶吧，还有机会吗？点了，传
No fucking way. Okay.
金钟现在
That's 2 clutches that Neff almost won. I bet he's kind of annoyed.
这个一打 X 重新买的，应该没捡回来。看懂了，今天的 BO5只要 XLG 要有大优势的情况下，他们能一路压制啊。
Oh god.
看个头皮。
那肯定是有预警了。对。
Again, our sub is way too... I think this sub is probably... I don't think we're counting nicely for things. We basically have 4A right now. This TP's not deep enough. I think the Killjoy should be more towards this side of the map, or the TP needs to be this side of the map more.
打 B 小了。
这有炮台啊！
古斯哟，
这个头皮直接秒。
It's minor, but
也是跟前面看到人有很大的关系。
I guess it doesn't really matter if we got Astra Killjoy ult for retake though. Just wondering if they need B-Link control for the Killjoy ult. I presume they can just do it from heaven if they really wanted to. I mean, this ult is a lot. This ult is better. This ult is a little better, but I don't think it matters. Basically, they're giving up B-Link control. It looks like, so they can't get this ult down, but they'll be able to do this ult.
压力给到刘一手了，这个位置其实挺难守的。
对，可以适当的放，因为 B 小队友在补 ，Raga 已经补到了 B 小在支架区。
If I'm Killjoy here, I go down to this angle here for 1 shot, and I leave because I have ult.
Raga 的第二枪区 ，Raga 弹无虚发。
再来，
Yeah.
有点不尊重了。
先放个 TP 再说。
是，没有必要在这儿去蕊这些了。
这双架感觉晃到一个，
不太过得来，
就能补啊。
勾打，甚至都不需要勾打。
嗯，
那这个分值已经失去悬念了。当然，标记这分应该是个混棋，重点的下一分吧。
这个 Y 字完全放了，就加一个过节刘一手。
其实你看到这几分，除了刘一手之外，是没有人会在 Y 字逗留很长时间的。而且现在有个问题是，标记单摸往回掉得快。
Leo keeps getting caught on this twice now.
一个，
但人数依然是个劣势，自己位置也被暴露，名牌打一了，方程还没有回，还在担心可能在做进一步的摇摆。来，接着下一个2打4，
这个放的其实挺难守的。
回得很慢啊 ，Raga。
No man should be staying.
和队友索性等一个帮机，关键放下去再回。
对，而且要等花燕开枪了之后，
还
一下带
想去 Y 字弄一个，但 Y 字看到了一个少级炮台。
I think no man should be here just in case. If there's any contact at all, then these speed up.
有点烦了，看一下
直
照片。
打，Raga 在有 timing，这个枪没了。
数位提前枪，因为先给了假人，给了机会2打4，变成了2打3。还想这找机会没找过，但是小编6滴血，而且对面是给知道是残血的。
哦，这个技能吃了就没机会了。
关键拆包才是最要命的。对，霸名狙吧，这应该钱要来提点了。就像阿林所说的，可能要5个人直接爆一波5B 长车踢。
Still got Killjoy ult.
这个短踢，王浩哲要第2波踢要怎么用？
Interesting star. Star.
那这个短踢。
The fuck does this star do? How the Chinese team's looking for masters. I think that I missed some questions. Did I actually miss questions? One sec. I thought that I answered all those questions. I didn't react to them though. Oh, was it the person beginning with B? I missed 2 questions. Oh, it was you. Was it you? I missed your 2 questions. Sorry. I'll answer them right now and I'll answer them later. So I think Beaver asked, "Hey Mini, had a quick question about gun choice and Fnatic, specifically with Leo. What was the theory behind switching between Vandal, Phantom for him?" Honestly, I never discussed it with him at all, and presumed he used the Phantom most of the time. I don't think he used the Vandal very much. Also, can you recall what Leo liked to do for warm-ups before games? Leo was one of the more how do I put this? Leo had his own little rituals, like both in and out of the server. I feel like they weren't necessarily scientific, but he had his own things. Watch YouTube chat, please. Bro, it's there, I can see it. And so I remember him wanting us to play a scrim before he very heavily pushed for us scrimming before official games, like just one scrim, but he refused to use sound. I think it was like he refused to calm or something. It was like he wanted to just basically deathmatch, but in a scrim if we could. So that was one thing. Other than that, I think it was just death matches. He used to play Swift plays, but I don't know if that was like legit. He has this thing where he used to play death matches and then leave as soon as deathmatch started. But I think that was because people started playing lame as soon as deathmatch started or something. I can't remember. Long story short, he played in the morning. He played a lot of ranked, and then he probably do death matches. Is a mechanically elite player more valuable to the team than a player with elite knowledge? Say someone like a Premi versus Nats. It's not a fair comparison because Nats has literally got elite level mechanics as well. Like, obviously Premi's got better mechanics, but Nats has got both. I would say in general, I would prefer to have more mechanically elite players than elite game knowledge players, though.
王浩哲要第二波踢要怎么用？还有又是一把盘关，他这个盘关要守2楼吗？进底线，这个炮
全是技能。
当然是队友的吧。
I mean, we need to help the Killjoy.
拍大了呀！
I think this ult is too.
要反清吧，感觉。
Yeah, this is bad. Our entire setup is around the idea of Killjoy ulting, so someone needs to join him. It's not going to be Yoru. The Fade needs to join him right here. Otherwise, the other issue then is that Killjoy cannot ult right now. The Killjoy cannot ult. Like, and because Happyway has no stars left, we want a star in front of the Killjoy. At worst, there should just be like a smoke would be probably drastic, but you know what I mean? Something needs to be put. A star needs to be here right now. But instead we have 2 stars like this, which are meaningless right now. That became a smoke? I want to see what this smoke does. Sorry guys, I'm so curious about this star, I'm gonna have to load the game. I have to load the game. I want to see what the fuck is going on. Such a weird smoke. Is it to literally jump? He's jumping with the judge into that spot? What kind of rituals do you mean? I don't mean rituals as in like he was fucking creating circles with stones and praying to shamanic gods. I just mean a ritual is just something you do. It's just a habit or something that you do. It's just something you repeat. Is it literally just a judge play? I think it might just be a judge play, right? The judge play is preceding the actual win condition, which is the ult though, is the problem. It's fucking shit UI. What kind of stuff did he do? I told you. I can't really tell you much more. There was because I can't remember. I just remember when it came to like out of game stuff, he had very certain habits about the way he ate and the when he got up and when he like. There wasn't science behind it. This was a discussion I had with my performance coach. It was like my performance coach was like, yeah, Leo just likes to do stuff, and it's just like his own way of doing things. But
The world may be crumbling, not this place. Oh, they're thriving. Feel that energy. My ult's ready.
like you know how like some people, okay, like for instance,
Checking the situation.
I'm sorry, I can't think of a better example than this, but some people like to smoke weed before they go to bed, and I know that that is not actually that good for you to go to sleep. Right? It's not good for you to sleep. And yet some people do it because they think it helps them sleep, which it probably does help you go to sleep, but it means your sleep quality is bad. There are certain things like that where, like, obviously not that example that Leo would do, you know?
Need that back. Obscuring vision.
Is that really the play? That's really the play.
Recovering it. Need that back. Concealment.
Okay. Guys. I used an example of something, and you guys have been a bunch of weirdos. I used a very specific example that I think illustrates a point pretty well.
Taking that back. Taking that back. Blocking vision.
Oh, Happyway does get the... I mean, it did work. Okay, I didn't even watch him. I don't. Why didn't I just watch out the round instead of fucking going to the server? That's kind of cute. Hello, Petrosimic. Oh, no, Peter, sorry, Peter Simic. Wait, there's no way that this table height is, it looks like he's, like, up. Again, why your TP? Why never a cross-map TP? Like, at this very second, we should leave no man here and have Yoru come this side of the map. I don't think... Ah, it's fine. If Wei leaves, it's fine. If Wei leaves, it's fine. I don't know what they're gonna do here, though, with 3. Leo's used all his prowlers. We basically want to get a situation where we get people over here, and then we can use a prowler to do something together. But... prefer this smoke to this smoke too. Our deep line has made us stack middle, which is strange. I think we should be doing something over here. Okay, well, they got the Killjoy ult. Okay, that's fair. I mean, if it's because they got Killjoy ult, then there's no point of doing anything over here. We need to maintain our control, though. I don't hate... I said in the past, I don't hate the retake from CT. But we have alarm bot up, so we should be taking out. Comes down to a duel. 50-50. Yep. Yeah, we should have been sending a couple people here. Could even have come through. Salvo and tail ult post plant. Yeah, I think the mistake macro wise from XOG's here. I think they should be taking art here with this alarm bot. Happy Way is low on stars again though. He's very low on stars a lot. At least he's using them. He is using them. Okay, eco round. They should lose, right? Interesting start. Where did that reveal go? Go up here? It's up here? Oh. Once again, big ults to retake with... That TP strange to me. TP strange to me. Why have we fully left? 3A? Deep? Then we fully leave. TP'd out and 2 people leave. Bit strange to me. Now we have no info on the map. We have nothing here. We have nothing here. We only have mid control. And it's not really control. Look at us. So passive. The retake on A here should be okay, but we have... Let's see how BLG do this. I like this. I'm hoping to see a crunch on art here from BLG. Teo stays here for Armageddon and Salvos. XOG have a lot of ults, so it should become a bit like Exodia, really. Like, it should be like a big ult combo comes in. Okay, they go CT instead of art. I don't hate it because this player is still going to get the control eventually. Because XOG never clear this. You can see XOG's theory here is literally they will never retake with art. They're always going 5 CT. Which I think is incorrect, but it's at least like planned together and like clearly coached, you know? Astra always this way. They just have really clear protocols.
我觉得这分比较有点掉入那个思维陷阱了，就是他没有，他忽略了自己手里的弱势。其实还有一个点，他们包括如上下午，XLG 其实也是觉得我回防就必须能得分，他就不用发现得分全是靠回防，抢一拐，56。
Again, this is an instance where we see this TP is not going to get, like, this is a perfect example where this TP would be getting a lot of value by being in a good spot. But now we got our longest rotate ever from a Waylay. If this was Neon, it would make more sense, because obviously Neon runs fast. But because it's Waylay, like, we got to get the ring to fucking Mordor, like.
人很多，先把车打了。
感觉切个球可以提啊，这个位置。
美，混烟对混。
小边有大。
爪子，这个爪子。
Nice combo. He's probably dead, right?
对，这个爪子抓得很好，拖一排。
And it was at this point I knew I'd fucked up.
拖一排，非常好。末日审判还让我是6直接倒了，想出烟吗？
哎，
这个切枪。
Nice flood. Nice flood. Nice flood. Nice flood. Why is he planting there though? Oh, why is he walking in? Oh, I see. He's trying to use the smoke for cover. Doesn't think someone's got here already. Fair enough. Good plan. It was a good plan. Good flood. Good flood. Feels dank, man, Daniel. I like your name, not your name, but your colors on your name. How do you get colors on your name like that? I've learned this one. When you do this, when you type me, Dankman Daniel, what is the color? How does your text color? Oh, 7TV. Can you put /me and then type something? Oh, it goes back to yellow. Okay. Not as cool.
已经没了。
Are you doing EDG as well today? Probably not. Probably not. I'm a bit tired. Over this review, should Exo be on my pick'ems? Ooh, I think XRG are the best team in China. I don't know if they should be in your pick'ems to make it out of groups though. I'm not at that stage in my VOD review. Like, I haven't watched other regions yet. I haven't watched regions yet, Copa. I don't know. Which team I'm most excited for VOD review? I mean, honestly, everyone. Like, Furio is gonna be fun because it's a new team. G2 is gonna be fun. Energy. I'm not excited by Energy right now. That doesn't mean they're not good. It's just not exciting to VOD review. Nongshim, T1, PaperX, like all of APAC. Basically, Furia, G2, APAC. Even Team Liquid's like Waylay, Neon. It's fun. And then Mates, obviously, I've been a big fan of. So, like, almost everyone. Like, almost every VOD review I'm going to be looking forward to, bar NRGs. And NRGs is still good because... Like, NRGs is still good because it's NRG. EDGs is going to be fun because I haven't watched EDG this, like, closely for a while. And so it'd be really interesting for me to see what my perception of them as a team and how it's changed. For A main control, we take orb and then fully leave it. Do we not leave Wouldn't it be good to leave someone here?
走了，其实这问题有点缺。来，中想出吗？
Take A main and we're gonna go B split. Not my favorite strat,
不太
but
会，不太会。
it's pistol.
瞅泰利也是了。对，如果中区一定要打的话，夜路是不会。泰利换了个
And they are playing like a sub to get owned right now. I think this loses to a Waylay.
这死链肯定要清的，主动拉
看到
了。
哦，这个闪光的效果非常。
Oh, for some reason Nomad didn't get his. Oh, he didn't have saturate. Okay, he didn't have saturate. I think on this. He needs the dash to get out of B link, I guess.
泰利
肯定要清的，主动拉
看到
了。
哦，这个闪光的效果非常漂亮，闪压炮。啊，第二时间的对枪上面也没问题，补出来。
I think BLG actually do anti-strats for stuff like pistols, it seems. But I could be wrong.
手枪本来有一差，他这边重亚泰林，因为这张地图很多时候
Do you think mates make it out of groups? Ah, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
偏多的话也是去避免。
Were you surprised Fnatic didn't make masters? Yes and no. Yes and no. As in, like, before the event started, I thought they were going to make it out. But obviously, it's kickoff and you don't know what's going to happen. When I saw the comps they were running, I thought it was more likely. What went wrong? It seemed like they were late again, if that makes sense. Like, they were late in terms of... It felt like they were figuring things out during kickoff that shouldn't be figured out during kickoff. Like, if you compare the teams, like I know it's going to be survivorship bias to some degree, but if you look at BBL and Mates, they weren't figuring shit out during the tournament. They knew how they wanted to play. The difference between G2 and Team Liquid figuring stuff out is that they did their figuring it out was a complete identity change with role swaps and agent swaps. It was drastic. Fnatic's figuring stuff out was, we're going to keep the same comps, but try and get better at the maps. And you could see them doing that, and that was a little bit worrying to me. So it's almost like they weren't one of these teams, and they weren't one of these teams. They were just in the middle a little bit. Does that make sense? Only on like Breeze did they end up doing a huge revamp. And like the fact that they were picking Corrode so much and figuring it out during the tournament was like, well, your map. I was questioning the map pool a little bit if like Corrode was a map that needed to be like hugely figured out, despite picking it. But that could just be good map vetoing in the sense that like they knew the opponent was weaker or something. I don't know. Why do Fnatic always play so slow? Boaster, it's risk mitigation in the sense that you're trying to avoid running into strong sides. In a meta with less utility, it's harder to do that. It's not necessarily fast or slow to me, it's more map control. I don't think you could take as much map control in this meta, and you shouldn't be spread as thin. And then once you do spread yourself less thin, you naturally speed up more. But I guess you can spread thin. You can spread thin, but you can't go forward thin, if that makes sense. You can't have 5 people across the map walking forward. You don't have initiator over here and initiator over here to take multiple points at once, right? So you can hold back and play slow. You could like hold back and then decide to group up later, and that's probably still valid on some level. But you can't try and take this and then walk back and then take this and then walk back. Like, you can't complicate. You can't, you know. I think this matters like you take one part of the map or you fake one part of the map and then you're probably grouping up and going. And that can be done relatively slowly, but it has to be done. It can't be done. You just can't complicate it, basically. I mean, BBLs don't spread that thin. They have a Yoru. If they're gonna spread, it's because they have a Yoru and a Waylay, and Yoru can be used to. He will. If you look at where his TP is, let's say that we have some people here, and some people here, and then we have a Yoru here. It looks spread thin, but if the TP is with this side, technically it's just two big groups, you know. Or if like you see lots of people here and you see a Yoru over here and the TP's like here, that's still one big group. Does that make sense? And then even if Waylay is doing Waylay things, it's like you'll see like a big group here, a Waylay dashing in by themselves, but ultimately they have a refract and just become like the lurker. It's like they understand it more than what you think, I think. Maybe I'm coping, but I don't think they spread that thin. I haven't reviewed MIBRG2 yet, no.
前点靠着王浩哲硬顶出来，想去抽一枪，但是自己没有倒，其实就是最大的福音了。点到为止嘛，他们默认防。现在对如下来说
Heavy fight A, they just rush to B. I wouldn't hate leaving a person here again as a late lurk or a cancel option. Could even go back and lurk. If they get stalled hard here, they don't have any control on the map. But I don't hate them just going in. But they got a triangle ready. And the fourth person is ready. Like, realistically, this guy should be down here right now. They could have 5 people be.
水点补上了，
他底线没清干净是一个问题，是非常大的问题。点里面开始来人了，点里面开始来人了，点里面是大混战。
That's stupid. We have full control. Full control of back elbow. There's no need to run out right now. As soon as these start fighting, then you can start looking at getting in. So if honestly, I think BLG deserve this round. It's a shot though. Getting heavy A main control. I think I would like to see a protocol here where these two are just walking up. Get the crunch going. Nice redrone on Art. Nice. And we see push down here. BLG are playing a decent defense here. It's not like fucking, you know, 10 out of 10, but like a lot better than what we saw from AG, I think, in terms of their proactivity, reactivity. There is a gap here. It's being now filled by Killjoy.
这个过点没办法，韩明被抓了，这是只能说运气不好，正面只能结束了，很难起，没烟，没有说法的呀。有闪，那闪完明就没有击伤。但今年已经到了 ，Raga 在点里，队友在点外 ，Raga 突然找机会找了一个，但远远不够，这分应该到。
Yeah, I mean BLG are doing nice things.
我觉得侯亚也看得出来队伍现在的窘迫。对。
What am I saying? Something about A main control, probably. You see, maybe it's the adaptation that I was saying. Like, if there is a lot of noise here, we're gonna see these two aggressively go. Maybe it looks like they're ready to go up.
但其实你可以看到标界做了同样的玩法，让小便一个人在 A 拐去骗对面的技能，做一些缓冲。你要是出这个 A 大门口的话，优爪是一排，然后耶路前顶是一排，是两排。王浩哲在 L 这外面的 A 拐撞上了闪 ，Q 走了。防守方有鬼眼，有阵，两边就技能串了一个平交，那就是一个常规 A 大。
It's kind of funny. That's kind of funny. The problem right now that they have is that because they can't put pressure here, you're seeing a huge stack this side of the map. Pro just plays like this, I think, when you don't have when you have double duelist.
但这一份 BLG 在 B 头没有人敢摸出去，现在 BLG 整体的地图控制其实是没有那么好的。一脚是 Lucia 的判官，
So ideally, why sometimes this should be a server, right? Because the server could come to here and drone right now, and then like create pressure. Whereas like the fade can't do anything here. Waylay ult coming in, late lurk. I really like this round from XOG. I like the adaptation. I think the problem is that they are getting stacked on though. That's right, notes. Are you a fan of the new kickoff format? Yeah, I like the new kickoff format. I think that there's obviously going to be criticism about the way the finals were done. It'll be very interesting. Like, obviously, because I work on broadcast, I get to ask, like, sometimes, like, some of the head Riot people from EMEA join our meetings, and we get to ask questions. And the question I kind of have right now is it worth having, like, you know, back-to-back finals and treating it like a finals weekend where every region's going crazy? Like, did that have a huge spike in viewership because everyone knew that it was like a huge weekend and like it was easier to organize? Or is the kind of like competitive integrity side and the 2-week build up before where like you don't get like to see the good teams play for a while worth it, you know? Like you see what I'm saying? Like the other solution could be that you just put this on the end of week 2, this at the end of week 3, and this at the end of week 4. But then it separates out this like hype moment of like, oh my god, back to back to back, like final kind of stuff. Maybe separating out one, I think that's a good idea actually. The compromise between my idea and this idea is maybe you just put this on week 3 and then have one back-to-back final, maybe. The other disadvantage though is like it probably shouldn't be that a team coming into here shouldn't have a week to prep for this game, and this team has like to prep for this game and then has one day to come here. Like that does feel a bit rough, but at the same time they get 2 chances, so I don't know. So the best way to counter double duelist right now? I think part of that answer is chamber. Which team do I think is the weakest in Masters Toronto? I would presume EDG, but I don't know. If TL can clean up their shit, then they will be pretty good. If they like for some whatever reason go off of the Waylay Neon, or also continue with like the Sky in their comps and stuff with Brimstone and stuff, I think they could be in trouble. But the Waylay Neon foundation was really strong. We were discussing kickoff format. And what I like, I really like it. My only criticism would be potentially the finals weekend thing, but it depends how Riot views it. Like whether the data proves that like it was actually more worth having all those games there despite some
而
issues.
且大坑的位置最后也没有处理干净。
对，
这样的话 XLG 陷入存钱分，他们在下半场目前只得到了1分，他们正在消磨上半场所建立的那6分优势。
Heavy mid. I mean, they're eco. I'm gonna skip.
这个时候他叫了也没什么，看上去要是一个 A 小加 A。
Honestly, if we play pro, if EMEA plays pro against China, I mean, to be fair, I do think that from what I heard, BBL are good at pro. I didn't watch that game though, that one map. I don't mind Mates' pro. I think TL suck at pro though. If we sent other teams, China's pro might be better. Like they might be at some pro.
不过 A 校的话有炮台还行，A 大第一时间已经控下来，如果要强行打一波一点的话，A 大控不下来，其实还是不好打。
甚至奈夫是打点有大了，这大位很改变局势。按手没有找到王浩哲，
好像长度不太够。
后代球这边秒了，这是一个转击。奈夫跟队友在快速回防，双先锋。
I love this from the Astra, man. An Astra player who's just relentless. I love this. Like, not once has XOG conditioned this guy away, or pushed him away, or even stood here at all.
所以要多留点时间，我觉得要多留点时间去安包，去第一包。进攻方还在慢。
他以为这个大招什么时候给啊？对，没给了。
Astra ult's pretty big here. Should be around for XOG. No man. That's not unnecessary. Nice fade, sees.
有星坠可以拖，
要挺着打这个位置。
哇！但是 Raga 进去直接没了，给阵，
再绕，花间这个位置很远。
又是这样一个局面，一换一，
直接拆，
这分已经没了，
对，
直接欧亚。
The obvious, okay, I was about to say the obvious call now is just go B. So, but it's so obvious that I worry that it's too obvious. Luckily, BLG aren't using TP here, and they're gonna have 3 players here, and their subs kind of weak. They could actually lose this round to shotguns. Their subs very weak against the B rush. Their Killjoy is not even playing near them. They have no TP. This is bad by BLG. Yep, they've lost the round. Nice C's again. Nice Teo drone, to be fair. Teo drone used as a wall hack. Out of the smoke. Gets the free kill on this guy. And like, they've had to do beautiful things to recover this round. But they almost fucked up. Yeah, we see immediately timeout comes, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit obvious, but like, what are you gonna do? Just changing to a B default. A lovely adaptation from BLG though too. I love this. I love the mind games here. It's like, basically what's happened is like XLG have not gone B the entire game. The coach times out, and we're now like, well, they're probably going to start going B. So they're like, well, we'll do our normal salvo, but then Killjoy just put a deep alarm bot. Because we're really confident that this is going to happen. I think this is nice. This is the kind of thinking that I've been missing from some of the some of the matches, some of the maps. In ranked, a chamber is sufficient as solo sentinel. Yes. In ranked, there's no such thing as sufficiency. The only thing you need is smokes, and then as many duelists or chamber as possible. All you need is smokes. There's a reason in APAC that like literally Zeta told me that they don't want they're like skeptical of the idea of their recon player practicing recon in ranked because nobody in APAC plays in this shit in ranked. Apparently. What comp you prefer out of these two, Whaley or Tail? I think this comp has the higher skill ceiling. I think that the double drone. I think there's a problem here of this not being a Sova when you're solo. This is the easier comp to play. This is the harder to master, I think. It's not crazy at all. It's honestly true. Oh, the APAC thing. Yeah, the APAC thing's crazy. The APAC thing is crazy. They just play the game more proper when it comes to ranked. Can you ask me a question about BOG? Of course. You don't have to ask me a question. I mean, I don't think APAC were playing initiator before the initiator nerfs, but... Raga.
两手一摊看着队员，我觉得这个如果再输的话 ，XLG 可能真的有点危险了。来了，壁咚勾点，直接投了。这个闪其实还可以，他选的还有点求稳，对，太稳了，直接走了。但这样的话，两边点到为止。霸队有大，王队有大，这分如果想放领打回防，我觉得是完全能理解的。但从这个战略上来看，更加保。
Okay, okay. So they do a little pressure here, and then they do even break this.
先打拉扯，不着急，反正留手手大家都可以打一波。姚记一点都不慌，因为他中区也没有什么太大的压力，一路开大信息，主动看一下位置。姚记这边知道打 B， 看到了很多人。那看一下路下的战位，这个位置是看到了的。哦，两边来。
It's like there is that extra layer, you know? We got that first layer, and then we are actually clearing this as our second layer. Like this is nice. Like I think a lot of teams in this situation at 10-10 would be like, oh fuck, we just need to go B. Fuck it, we'll just leave A main, we'll go and become like really greedable. Whereas like it's nice seeing this layering.
LG 可能真的有点。进来的时候，去让 Noman 的大招有任何一点点的多的充能。不过好在标记其实这个经济攒蓄的很多了，没什么压力。下半场他们赢跟上半场 XLG 赢分数是完全不一样的，很多都是那种大胜。
Why Sova over Fade when solo? The drone on B long is one of the biggest reasons. Like, B long is very hard to take with Fade. And you saw even then the way they had to take it, XLG had to take it. It's like they have to take it start of round with a smoke and a Prowler. And even then, Wisey, if he was smart, could have got a kill very easily. In the mid rounds, you saw earlier, every time that XLG took this side of the map, they couldn't then re-clear this side of the map. Because they didn't have a drone.
XLG 的这一分，估计最后还是会落实到夹击当中来。B 小进的很快，B 小进的非常快，车按授权。
Why are we doing? We got a Killjoy ult, Astro. Why don't we just do our ults? Nice stun. How's Raga killed someone here? Oh. That dink is crazy. Oh, he dead. Our Killjoy ult player survives. Goes Heaven ready for the Killjoy ult. Matches the Killjoy ult. Why have we used Salvo this round? Bro, that's a really bad. we use salvo against the Killjoy ult.
快下，
If the other team has Killjoy ult, you save your salvo shorty,
应该对他
right?
后排的有优势，进攻方放不了包，没有机会，这个爆能技能由此放进去，对，时间被空空的。
How do I get into coaching? A friend of mine in Counter-Strike asked me if I wanted to coach his team because they're having some problems. The idea of coaching back then, it was 2015. In 2015, coaching wasn't really a big thing. So I helped my friends for £50 a month, I think. My team lasted about 3 weeks before Def, who played Valorant, and Surreal got picked up by Complexity. And so then I went back to graphic design. And then several years later, honestly, in a weird way, I lived in Manchester, and I went out one night with a coworker and his sister and his sister's boyfriend. And his sister's boyfriend got really drunk. And so we were like walking home, and I was like talking to his sister whilst we are just kind of like escorting the drunk guy. And I remember I was talking a lot about like how my friends at the time were getting into like this esports thing and coaching and stuff. I remember thinking like, I spent so long talking about it. I was just like, wait, I kind of really like this, and like I think I can do it. And so when I was talking about it, I was like, I think I might have had a revelation then that like if there is an opportunity to do something in gaming, that I should do it. And then a year later, Valorant came out. So the Norwegian half sister of my colleague helped me vent out what I probably wanted from my life, I guess, at that point. And then Valorant came out, and I grinded it and made a team of Oster. Yeah, it was Sendef, yeah, Exadef.
且这样能把 Heavyweight 从 B 大接过来。
It was very lucky timing that Valorant came out at a time in which COVID also happened. I was very much on my ways to becoming like just a graphic designer who would have been like, you know, working at cool studios and probably become like a creative director one day, you know.
因为包点 BLG 已经扑进来了。 3B 看 Heavyweight 掉了，3B 的重防，名牌的 B 小，名牌的 B 小，只有6的1打3，他有包，但他不确定的是第3个人在哪，他应该拿。
Placed by AI. That's interesting. I don't know where graphic design is at right now with that stuff. Because like the kind of studios I worked for were like cool like studios that would never obviously touch that stuff, and a lot of their value was like problem solving. That AI is not necessary. Like their whole approach was like about the solution to a problem, not necessarily looking cool all the time, you know. Double salvo should break. Yeah, I think double salvo breaks Killjoy ult, right? Hey Pekoda, thank you very much. With the story with the Norwegian girl was like, I feel like afterwards I felt horrible. You know when you overshare, and then you feel horrible that you're like, fuck, I just like fucking spilled my guts out, and you feel a little bit icky. Like that's basically what happened. I felt a little bit icky after. But I could tell where my psyche was at the time because of it. I was also fairly depressed when I was in Manchester because I was pretty lonely.
所以就像我们说的，并不是每一份 Raga 都有这个大招可以畅通无阻的有一张进入包点的通行证。来看这个回合，我这波 Y 字 Knife 也是很敢直接去抢第一血，逼下吐了，拿下。他们将会。
Oh, we going for it. We fucking sending it. Okay, it's another 2-man. Let's see what happens. The 3-man here. We're hopefully seeing the crunch protocol happen. Okay, they actually back off. So this lyric isn't as important. I would hope that if they actually met fire with fire here, that these two would activate, you know? they go too quick, they're gonna have 4 people literally decide the map. It's funny how YZ is less active than fucking Russia was, or Russia, or however you say his name. Like, this guy would be here right now. And that's correct, by the way. This guy is just holding passive. It's incorrect. As soon as you hear this much noise inside the map, you should be pushing up, getting some info, maybe even going deeper. Russia? Is it like Russia, not Russia?
感觉要是要跟队友走一起，感觉一小人有点少了。直接提了，直接切两边。时光修罗场在对面。
Okay, luckily the TP. I don't know if this is intentional. Is this intentional? Do you think?
他们将会拿留下退是对的。这一波锣鼓惊天之后，其实没有2次的一个后续进点，罗马应该还差一个点了 ，A 中点应该已经被吃掉了。这条怎么进点？金光在考虑去转向另外一边吗
The exact fucking second.
是真的能转吗？
感觉要是要跟队友走一起，感觉小人有点少。
Do you think this is intentional? There's no TP, or do you think it's just the fact that they've grouped up? I think it's more luck that Fade is here. At the timing Fade gets here, they go. Hey honey. Hey Heart of Gold. Is your name Heart of Gold because of the Neil Young song? Which is very good. Or because of the general aphorism? I'm still helping Zeta, yes. Okay, nice. Again, now the conditioning of the default on B long. This smoke is terrible though. This and this, like, this could be better. Like, this guy gets too much value looking over the top. He doesn't trust it at all. You see? 4 here still. There's a better way to do this, I think. I mean, at the minimum, the Euro has to come out and actually fight off the Euro if you're going to do this, because a dissipate and a smoke isn't stopping this guy. This is part of the reason why the drone... This is what Andrew said about the drone, too. It's like this box was enough, you know? Huh? Nice from that, man. So we can plant... we can plant here, I was gonna say, and push this way, instead we just plant in the middle of nothing. Nice from XLG. I like this map. This is the first map where I was like properly impressed. From both teams, honestly. I think BLG's attack, maybe both teams' attack could have, you know, wasn't tense. Defense was a lot better for both. But in general, I think that they were playing a much higher level on this map than what I've seen from other maps. Abyss. Abyss. Okay, we go Abyss, and then I'm gonna probably call it. Maybe I'll play some. Maybe I'll stream some later. Maybe. What would you suggest for a bronze Omen player trying to rank up in solo queue? I would suggest not playing Omen and playing Clove and running around and trying to kill people. The game until Radiant, or even like maybe higher Mortal 3, is just running and shooting your gun. And even then, I'm sure that even the pros would say that it's still shooting your gun at that level. Omen is the worst. It's one of the worst agents you can play in ranked. Win rate rise. And it also doesn't help you to think about shooting your gun as much as you should. You want to be getting as many gunfights as possible, and Omen's kind of like an in-between agent. Is it ever possible for teams to plan around CT Yoru TP CDs? Yes. Or is it too much to think about for an IGL? No, you can absolutely have protocols around it. It's those layers that differentiate some of the teams that I think consistently can win trophies versus the teams that don't. I think this meta is far less about that level of detail though. But we are in a Euro meta. I would expect teams to be counting the seconds on that stuff. Yeah, Clove's non-mirror win rate is the best in the game by far.
说到这样地图，其实两支队伍在本次的起点赛当中
Okay, so we're focusing on SLG.
一定的熟练度的。
I don't really care about defense. The big thing here is they're playing a breach. So I think that this is kind of ass. Dissipate to help scale and maybe protect drones sometimes. Nothing here at all. Nice, probably an anti-strat here, knowing that maybe BOG play retake quite a lot on pistol. Just contacting up. Should probably see the plant here. Ooh. It's a back left plant. I don't think I love this. I think what this is maybe anti-strap. They scaled up here, and you can see already watching deep flank. I think they're worried of a huge flank here. I wanted the option to be able to push this way. 55% is ludicrous for anyone that understands data. Like, from what I understand in like betting, like sports betting theory, is that like you want like a 3% advantage or something, and that's huge, or like a couple of percent, and like you're gonna win over time, like loads. Like having 5% advantage is like crazy. You know how like blackjack, they have like, what is it? What's the percentage in blackjack for the house? It's like less than 1% or something? Or is it 1%? Edge for the house, or 2%? And we know how much money casinos make. Think about the value of having a 5% edge. PLG run no Senti, no Viper, no 7, no Euro. Can we skip this? That's true. I mean, this is possibly one of the worst comps in the game. I can't skip it because XOG. I want to see how XOG still play. I'm gonna fast forward through a lot of stuff though. And unfortunately, I will end the stream early no matter what. So like, I'm not gonna go to EDG yet. But I like the thinking. I could see the anti-strat. I think I could see the protocols at least.
来看到这一分当中 ，XLG 的一个起枪是非常稳妥的。来看到这一分当中 ，XLG 的一个起枪是非常稳妥的。
Two smokes, use middle. It's whatever. If that's the band-aid we need, it's fine. Put some mid pressure, now we put lay pressure. Yoru, this is nice anti-eco. Yoru can create pressure, puts TP this side of the map. Depending on what happens, we can go here or here. Is that XOG he was doing with his
点的话，可能 B 区的 rush 会更加多一些。然啊，直接来 B 了。对，而且是补了步枪，这一分其实两边的枪械是没有太多差距的。看一下他是叫。
What do you think would help China improve to other regions level the fastest? Hiring foreign coaches. I don't think there's a way to do it. I think foreign coaching would help. But I think ultimately it's not. I don't know if that's a long-term solution in the sense that, like, I'd rather organically grow some coaches, if that makes sense. In a weird way, I think hiring people to do kind of what I'm doing is that it would probably be useful. In the short term, having people like Hoya is gonna make them better. In the long term, obviously, once you kind of want it to be in-house, if that makes sense? Like at a certain point, you want it to be in-house. So it's just gonna naturally happen over time. The other thing is like I don't know. Okay, what a great anti-bonus round. The anti-bonus was solo Mukta and B. Oh, actually, this layer is kind of cool. But this feels like a bonus round strat, not an anti-bonus round strat. What's the guy? What's that funny Twitter? The guy that pretends to be Japanese. Here. It's this guy. Seth Sama. I feel like there's got to be memes here. This guy. Have you guys seen this guy?
I got banned from practicing martial arts. Let me explain. As most of you know,
I feel like there's got to be
I
some
am very
memes
fit,
about
don't have
me
traveled
and Zeta in here. It's how I feel when they call me Mini-san. Didn't Euro overstay that after getting 2 picks? I didn't see. If Euro got 2 picks, then probably. Oh, it's just the water. It's just actual sponsors. I thought it was someone's drinks. Okay, anti-eco. The hero gun, Rusha. My boys. Look, it's a fucking anti-eco. What are we doing? Little anti-eco throw by us. Rusha hitting. Okay, a little bit of a throw. B split coming in. After we know they're kind of very hard holding towards the side. Actually. Why are we obsessed with A main? Like, Rusha's just been asked to do everything. The classic. Oh my god. Raga needs to chill there. We're gonna suffocate this guy. We don't need to peek. This is the earliest lurk I've ever seen. He's going because he hears this. Fuck. Cut my nose, man. Okay, honestly, I think XOG are fucking this up a little bit. Shouldn't be that hard to go B against Solo Astra.
我觉得标记给你的埋伏压力，标记的钱已经非常多。
Every time they time out, they do adapt heavy though.
他们如果想起防守
Breach fake stun maybe?
如果想要变这个就揍是完全做得到的。现在先换一侧的包点去打，同时中区也有让还有有软控，应该会打得稍微慢一点。这一分是头。
No stun.
来到了 A 区的外面，而且霸的这一分在暂停之后必要继续。
Okay. A split.
那这样对于 Nev 来说前点是要
Oh fake. Oh fake A. Walk up middle.
硬扛的，过来先去找，被找到 Nev 想换位置应该没问题。
Oh, see ya.
过来先去找，被找到 Nev 想换位置应该没问题。
That's kind of nice.
Noman 应该是移回去的位置，
是提前给了个技能，
这也是小编的一个赛场经验啊。这小编有大了，这分其实我觉得整体的布局、人数的优势、大招方面都倒向了 BLG， XLG 要找一些，我觉得猎泽拼得上就拼这一分，这也给到前期发生开路的一个情况下，现在标记已经完全明确了你的意图。还有 Raga 一马当先 ，Raga 没有能够敌得过，后面的黑蓝的非常漂亮 ，Nap 配合队友想要清鸟2楼，但是利用加到了背身，还敌得过的一个情况下，现在标记已经完全明确了你的意图。看一下 Raga 一马当先 ，Raga
It's nice paranoia.
后面的黑蓝的非常漂亮。
But this is desperate. This is desperate move by Neff.
Nap 配合队友想要清鸟2楼，但是利用加到
We can chill here completely. We have a full like enclosure. Yeah, I think BLG fucked this one up. I think XLG should be 5-0 up. And this should be 5-1.
接受大招，对吧？非常漂亮的互相掩护，和 Happy 维和刘一手各自互相照看，一个非常
Who is this?
漂亮的互相掩护。Happy 维只是一个对于 BLG 攻击技能其实是守不住这个大招的范围，而现在防守在 BLG 但是没有
对，BLG
然后点的时候进攻方式是控题。 明确了你的意图。
Oh, it's bad.
Raga 一马当先 ，Raga 没有能够敌得过，后面的黑蓝的非常漂亮。Nap 配合队友想要清鸟2楼，但是利用加到了背身。
I didn't get to see his POV. Let me see the replay. How hard did Bud get owned, or was he just annoyed about that situation?
其实是时候考虑这把局以及队伍
提前的落位技能，
但接下来在 B 小出现了非常多的变化，下一次就不敢了。对
I just kind of. Oh, I think he might have whiffed here.
，WS6和 Happy 维和刘一手各自互相照看，一个非常漂亮。
That was Bianc.
然后把这个
Oh.
出现了照看，对终极技能已经开始好了。
We're gonna go back.
慢一点这一分。
What did Bianc do?
大了，直接标记漂亮 ，Nap 配合队友想要清鸟2楼，但是利用加到了背身。
Oh, he just got owned. I think he just got owned. Okay, one sec. Let me write down. I keep forgetting BLG have a sub.
是时候考虑要不要起局了，钱是够的，完全足够，只是要看王浩哲想不想要这把局，以及队伍觉得这把局在不在他。
The stats on their other player isn't like groundbreaking though, so I don't think the sub is like.
提前的落位技
It's like
但接下来在 B 小出现了非常
if YZ was being subbed was out for a sub, I think that it would be more of a win condition, if that makes sense. Like I'd be more
然后把这个中路和 B 小刷完了。
hype on this team being better for stage 1, if that makes sense.
其实小编应了队伍。
But I don't know if the sub's gonna make like night and day difference.
现在站在 XLG 的视角里面，先要去处理这把明局，但我觉得他们会有这个预警。
It's nice.
想到王浩哲如此
Going before the drone seems dumb, but it's kind of like unexpected. If he died there, maybe I'd call him a noob, but
现在刘一手的一个高点位，
头上
可能成为一个绝杀的位置。王浩哲
好
还敢
像完全
快来，
没看，
没看到，枪管差一点露出来，正这个烟，
消散。
OK， 王浩哲应该不会再回来了，但是好像是队友全倒完了。
但是1传2这个明局，
最后一枪，哇！那这个包这颗
消散。
5v4, we're refighting.
再回来了，但是好像是队友
It's very silly.
这个回答要主动
Why is he to catch 2 there?
效果，家里的位置压力还是很大。
Double kill.
要主动打反清，
the
是很大，刘一手过来帮。
要主
the
动打反
poppin.
清。
哇，这个大拉没有。
Poppin swinging on 30 HP is a little bit difficult
12秒的机会，
sometimes.
而且这把狙也捡回来了，所以经济还都很少。
I think no one played tier 2 or tier 3 Europe.
这一分可能会决定上半场的走
这个
向。
大招差不多要准备连上
Looks
了。
super individual in China.
防守已经出现了
I think this is BLG XLG seem to be more strategic than other teams.
现在比较
BLG does have a really bad read on the meta, whereas XLG have a much better read on the meta.
能打一个回防，奈普还在 做一个扛点，还有2段剑影呢，他们
哦，这个位置被照到了，可能要被穿。
能走能走，想要借这个队友的钩去打，但是没有收获。那这样咱没有换到人，没有宇宙分裂的连接了。 那就要在典礼硬扛。
典礼还有奈夫这个位置是能够看到头皮线的。
奈夫很神秘。
Where they wasn't drying alone. There was someone next to him.
有人看的，
没有人管。
配合队友完成了一个正面的收获。但是对面的混烟，这是混烟打掉的。截断了一侧之后 ，Raga 在等人。
Whoa.
2个人
Very creative.
而且第2时间特万整理再给出来，时光修乐场被 TP 给躲掉了。再去找人。
Oh my god, I swear I didn't get that kill.
爆能器掉在了这里，太尴尬了，现在可能得靠对枪了。 中选择时间嘛，我觉得对 Raga 来说，这个时间虽然够，但是你要上2楼，其实对面一定会猜得到，已经猜到了。小兵猜到，王浩哲已经来到了这个角度。
Oh, I see. This probably should have been a BOG round.
这一狙的机会，哇，这非常致命。
前
后炸到了一发，一个穿板，开兵伟的技能。
Very back and forth.
没错，小编家的配合还是非常不错的。是，如果这一局没空，其实胜负犹未可知。
BOG could have qualified. Knight isn't sick. Is Knight that good? Like, I feel like when I looked at Knight stats, or is he like an IGO or something? When I saw Knight stats, I was just like, okay, like he's not like a superstar, or is he just really good at support util or something? Bianc was playing a bit worse, to be fair, in general, but he's better for sure. Okay. I guess what I'm saying is he's not like a superstar, so.
现在就看这个1扣分 ，XLG 会不会去稳稳的拿下了？
哇，这一波近距离的交火已经没血了，王浩哲。
It's not like losing YZ.
这把其实我们没有到现在为止看到过不要继续主动打防守反击。
Anti-eco again. Oh no, it's not anti-eco. They're playing an anti-eco formation. Oh, it is anti-eco. That's funny. I kind of saw the formation, thought it was anti-eco. Saw this, I was like, it's not anti-eco. It is anti-eco.
这把其实我们没有到现在为止看过不要继续主动打防守反击，都是前压的一个画面，前压没有特别多。防守这个放点回防倒是有啊，这是比较另外一个标志性的情况，所以我觉得他们可能还有2形态，后面会出击。
中路来了，中路其实压的特别快，已经有2个人都。
BOG making correct read, but it's down to Raga to do something here. Can he get the information here? Oh no.
但是这个位置1楼又有 Noman 想抓2楼的 Happy
队友的
Noman 能夹几个 Noman？
To be fair, I think he was gonna push in anyway, so they had to do something. Hey Bugs, right now I'm playing high sense. I can hit my shots, but I always find lower sense make me more consistent. Thing is, I have a small death space. Should I go low? But needing to, you're asking a impossible question to answer. It sounds like you either need more death space. It's your choice. Like you're asking the wrong person. To be honest, I don't know anything. 180 white 1 swipe is probably, that sounds reasonable as a response. To be fair, you could play keyboard on lap, but I don't think it's natural in, I don't explain it, but like Rafa, the way Rafa has his stuff is like, it's almost like he plays keyboard here, obviously on lap, and like mouse mat like almost in front of him, which is a bit weird to me. Keyboard on lap is genuinely a good solution though.
这已经没辙了啊！哎呦，
他真的看到了吗？
哦 ，Raga 的搜点很细致，对，因为左边右边50%概率吧。
OK， 藏了一个在侧面，直接跳了。
发的这边也是觉得如的虎口，对，他3个大招其实整个包点是100%覆盖的，对，留得。
Chinese teams always seem to have really bad discipline and fundamentals. Are coaches deeply involved with handling those aspects, or is it players' responsibility? Okay, you sound like the biggest clip farmer imaginable with that question, and so I'm not going to answer it properly, but it's the coach's responsibility. Hey, coach. Is playing Sky on buy and B site for defense and A site on split on defense the best sites to play her on? I think that yeah, I mean I think bind B is best. I think that I think A site on split is probably best, yeah. It's probably best, yeah. I could see a world where Sky can play B-sided on split. I think bind A site is kind of bad though. I've seen more discipline in this game than I do from A pack or at least Paper X. A pressure into B.
给大然叶路没给大，这个猎枭没给大，那没有去打这个配合，反而是先要了一个中区钉子的一个位置，没有 TP 要打，一个1v1的正面交锋
It's way too easy.
里面腹背受敌，看一下 Bud，
Bud. How is this? Like, look at what's happened though. One here, one here, one here. We have 3 this side of the map, and none of them are connected. They're all just taking one-on-ones.
还是那个问题，标记在拍下爆能器之前人就已经倒地了，对，就他没有回防的条件，对吧？你像就刚才之前那个2打4、2打5，其实没有回防的条件的。
就要么就包点就不占人了，你站在一个相对于说第二时间能走的一些位置，如果想要去抢手的话，那你这个回防永远是一个
为什么 Rock 一个
强？
看一下上面，现在他们真的要搏一搏嘛？对，前压。
There was an interesting concept FNS bringing up once wherein with they cannot cover each other. One sec. So because YZ gets aggressive here, he completely breaks the chain of what can happen. So Breach can come here, and then YZ could be here or here, and they have crossfires. Or YZ just comes to here, watches here, they have crossfire, and then they have a triangle up here. Like, because YZ goes aggressive, he dies solo. He comes to here, dies solo, and then Astra dies solo. The best option here is probably the Waylay to stay here, looking here. I know it's obvious, like, the Yoru ulting mid isn't that big a deal. So sorry. There was an interesting concept FNS bringing up wherein the young star duelist, although playing disciplined is good most of the time, you kind of have to let them off the leash to push their confidence. I think that young superstar duelist players shouldn't be super disciplined. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not really a hot take. Confidence is an interesting thing. I don't really, that's like the interesting part of that take. I don't really know if it's about confidence. Who has FNS worked with who's a young duelist? Has he ever worked with a young duelist? Mada, maybe? One of the most experienced young duelists, though, to be honest. Expectation of the Chinese teams in Santiago? I think that there's a lot of potential for individual pop-off and upsets through individual pop-off. I think XRG play a fairly decent standard strategic game. All gamers have massive holes in their defenses that should be exploited. I think XRG are less likely to be exploited. And they have individuals that are good. Whereas all gamers have individuals that are very good, but they're more likely to be exploited on defense. There's usually one Chinese upset people don't see coming. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the problem. I think that China is the weakest region coming to the event. But I think that there's always, like, it's Valorant. And the difference between the best region and the worst region isn't like massive. Well, isn't like it's like it's quite big data wise, but it's like not, you know, that's still in Valorant terms means you can still get upsets happening, you know. How's Raga looking? Pretty good. Are you a proponent of Barlow's law that no game's over 70%? Is it 70%? No. No, there are games that are over 70%. There are games that are over 70%. But it's not by much. I generally prescribe to that idea, and I think he's mostly right. But I think there have been over 70% games. I think Prime Fnatic had quite a few over 70% games. You know? Like, I think if you run back a lot of Fnatic in 2023, they would be higher than 70%.
如果你没有钱的话，这分还是凑了另外的2把枪进来，甚至王浩哲只给自己留了50给下一分哦，非常拼啊！对，他就要拼这一分。那就看一下这一分里面，在只有3把枪的情况下，3把有一些爆发或有能力的枪的情况下，这个双先锋大招一定得想办法打出价值啊。
Even Fnatic 2022, I think there were some games that were over 70% in the EMEA that year.
很凶，给闪也不动，我就在这儿站着。今天我们看到了非常多让 Raga 先去刷手感单打的画面。对，而且这一波中路夜路逛了一圈，防守很烦，因为一个隔断引导致你完全不确定中路到底有人没人，有几个人。而且打到现在为止，我觉得标记的 B 包压力确实会更大一点。所以说现在 B 包对方第一线绝对是走不了，4B 我直接4人撞就全来堵点了。
Very slow, weird round.
摆在标记的视角里，堵点反而是最安全最稳妥的了，尤其在混血分，就堵了，还是堵。
Anti-eco again. Does Raga go find what's going on at A? It's low time though. Yeah, they don't have time to explore, so they're running into the stack again. The anti-eco problem persists, perhaps. What? Was that where they all or something? 10 seconds. It's fine. Oh no. He's won. That's so sick. That's so sick. He's got the full sight with it. He had to insta plant, right? If he just planted, he wins, right? He's trying to find the gap. He could have planted. He could have planted. Push middle. Nice from BLG. Finally. No man's in fucking heaven though. Good reaction from him. Is this the first time watching this match? Yes. Yeah, there were matchups in 2021 that were 70% above. Baron out. I don't want to talk about, like, I think that, talking about why Fnatic didn't do well at certain tournaments, like Champs is the one that I get asked the most about. It's pointless to talk about, and I really don't enjoy having to, like, it's there's no way to talk about it in a way that makes me sound like a reasonable human being. Like it,
对，我觉得这两分拿的分数决策是比较好的，一个是大招去拖一个下落时间，第二波是前压打一些非常规。我觉得这个不管是教练还是指挥在临时给他们的一些这个决策转达给这个指挥，我觉得平时也是下了非常大的一个功夫的。节奏变得很快，对节奏我觉得也是抓的也很快。这种其实确实会
excuses don't matter, and we didn't win. So like you just didn't win. Like that's it. We weren't playing particularly well during scrims, and we lost. Like. I still think we were favorites against the other teams that weren't loud. And I think if I know that people seem to think that other teams had better map pools than us at that tournament, but I don't think they did. I think in a best of 5 we probably would have taken other teams. But I'd have to look at it. This is with like I've never gone into it in deep depth. I just know that our fracture was looking really good. I think Lotus Loud just had us. Our split would have beat. Our split and bind should beat EG's and probably Paper X's back then. And our Haven was S tier back then. Lao just had a good opening 5 rounds that deep. We basically stopped practicing our Lotus as much because we thought teams were going to veer away from Lotus, and then what happened is teams doubled down on Lotus. Sorry, let's switch this. It's also a tournament from literally, what is it, 3 years ago? It's like, who cares? Like, the game's moved on. Do you have any series in mind that you'd recommend watching for good macro strategy? What do you mean series? YouTube channels is just Anders' channel, really. I don't think I trust much output from almost anyone else when it comes to like deep strategic thinking. I think Anders is the one. So I think this is part of the thing, is like, so then someone says like, there's always a psychological, I don't need to prove something versus a team that's won a trophy versus not a trophy. Like, honestly, the problem with takes like that is that my chat's always going to filter towards the positive towards my team. Like, you're going to very rarely hear takes that I don't want to hear. And my response immediately is that, like, I don't agree because we're just biasing towards me, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a well-rounded enough and reasonable human being enough to be able to say we just lost and the other team was better. Like, it's not that deep. I don't enjoy, like, I think the problem with esports in general and being part of a team is that I think a lot of people get very entrenched into their perspective. Like, for instance, I know this is a bit off tangent, but like, there have been times in which I could have, like, you know when your team has something bad happen, where like, let's say like a tech pulse happens against you, or like something goes like not your way in terms of like a decision. I've always been very reasonable and being like, okay, like I think that like I can see past my little bias that, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's been plenty of times that I could have like you know, For instance, against Team Liquid once, we could have like taken a round off of them for free because there was like a tech issue or something, and I was like, no, that's not fair at all. Like, and so like and I noticed that a lot with some coaches, where it's like every time something is going to be bad for them, they'll be against it, and every time it's something good for them, they'll be for it. And so that happens a lot in this chat a little bit with like the bias towards Fnatic in a way. And I don't need that, you know? Like I don't need it. I appreciate it, but like we can be reasonable and say that I played a good game, you know? It's also from 3 years ago at this point. Like it's kind of like my recollection of that year was having like a very good year, you know? It's interesting, I get asked more questions about the champs loss than I do about anything else for 2023. Which is strange. In a certain respect. This is something I also don't like, is that what it's Minecraft's comment here is, am I the only one who has G2 new playstyle? It feels like the misunderstood APAC aggression is overpeaking when it's especially noticeable on split versus energy. That feels too suspiciously like exactly what I was saying, to the point where I think you've just watched my VOD and saying what I'm saying. Like, it sounds too similar. I've not heard anyone else have that take but me. So unless you're me, then fair enough, but I get that sometimes. Yeah, that makes me feel a bit weird. It sucks, but probably the bar was set so high before 23 the questions not to come. Yeah, but it was 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. Like, I don't, it's like, I'm just saying that we set that bar high by winning trophies, and it's interesting to me that I rarely get asked about the trophy winning runs. This is your first time watching your streams, concept by you, denying the allegations. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I've had it happen a few times where like I won't go into details with who, where like someone says my take to me and I know it's a very unique take, and I'm like having to almost like agree with them when they know I know they know I know. And I'm like, this is awkward. Oh, series. You meant a series of maps for good macro strategy. In this meta, not very many teams. It's like your work being copied. No, it's not like your work being copied. I don't care if my work is copied. It's more like having my work like told to me, and then I don't know. It's like this weird, almost parasocial thing that makes me feel really weird sometimes, because it happens sometimes. Series. I think honestly, the best way to do this is not look at series. You look at teams. You go to VLR or you go to runitback.gg, and you're looking for teams with very high win rates on specific maps, and you watch those teams. Like you watch Paper Rex on Sunset, like even G2 on Sunset, like, and then you just go through the teams with high win rates on certain maps and watch those teams specifically. You don't watch series. You watch specific maps. You watch teams that have mastered maps and watch them, and then compare them and contrast them to a team that isn't as high win rate on the map. Is this bad? Is this game that bad you can't focus at all? No, I'm getting asked a lot of questions that are interesting, and some not interesting. Who's gonna dominate Santiago? cannot answer. There's not a good answer to that question. Did you help Ilya on Euro? I believe I did, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that like I don't want it to become a thing where like then, you know, if Ilya doesn't think so, then he doesn't think so. But I think that a lot of the things that I noted about AG's defense with Yoru are things that I pointed out to PaperX last year, and I think that Ilya's Yoru improving strategically, I would hope, wasn't just a miracle on his part. I mean, if it was, then fair enough. But then then it was a weird coincidence. Yes, it is strange that Yampi's still on Euro and Sayo is on in a share. I think that is slightly strange. Yeah, and it would be a big, you know, point of criticism if they don't perform well, I believe, despite it might being correct. Well, that's the thing, like, I think at the end of the day, when a player improves, like, it feels kind of wrong to some degree to take credit. But I do truly believe that I helped. Like, my analysis with PaperX coming in was there was like 2 or 3 problems. The first problem was their ult usage. Their what do I call it? Win condition range is what I was calling it. Win con range. So this was their ults, their anti-ecos, etc. were very poor. And the second thing was playing Euro Lake Jet. And so those are the 2 things that I identified the quickest. There were other things too, but these were the main 2 things initially. Yeah, I mean, the PaperX subs where they were aggro Euro lining with the TP to weak sides, I was giving a lot of notes on. So I hope that for my own ego's sake that was partly me. Hey, what was it? I think it mostly was, I think Ilya's probably one of the most receptive players I have ever worked with. And so when I couldn't really figure out early on how I should work. But then at Champs, I think I realized too late, because Ilya and Devi gave me feedback that like they preferred it much more when I was just giving individual notes. And I think it worked better for them when I was giving individual notes, and I stopped doing it around Champs time. The reasons for it are complicated, and I can't be bothered to over-explain, but when I started out, I was doing more like, okay, like, I'd almost like, it's kind of hard to do individual notes for a team, because a lot of situations require multiple people, and so I'd end up having to give the same note to multiple players so they both knew how to play with each other, if that makes sense. It sometimes was like almost duo or triple notes. But I basically had a channel for each player, right? Like each player had a channel, and I dumped my notes for the relevant player in the channel, you know? And so I do think that Ilya probably did onboard some of the things I was saying himself and just actually do it. I think Jason was also cognizant of the notes as well. Devi was also taking, Devi was a little bit undisciplined with some of the Sentinel stuff, especially the ult stuff. And I think that that was the thing that he kind of latched onto. It's kind of funny because they kept asking Devi stuff about my help, and the poor guy had to like pretend sometimes. It was like, because realistically at Champs I was much more helping Alex than I was the team, like as individuals. And so they'd ask Devi about like what I was doing to help, and Devi probably was sat there thinking, I don't know what this fucker's doing at all, because I wasn't really helping the players at all, and he just like made something up. I was like, fair play, just made something up. And then yeah, and then they asked for specifics, and he recalled like a specific note I gave him like at Toronto or something.
那其实这个里外里2分加起来的节奏影响对标。
Team notes, it's not about that. The team note stuff. Okay, I'll have to explain it because Kyle was kind of catching me up. It's not about individuals taking responsibility. The team notes, I started doing them more because the notes were more my opinion. It was starting to become my opinion on how to play macro wise, and at that point, I think it needs to go through the head coach. And that was my opinion at the time. After working with PaperX long enough, I know now that it doesn't need to go through the head coach in that team. But basically, I didn't like this idea that I was giving players notes to change fundamental philosophical strategic ideas and confuse them. So I was kind of pushing it through Alex, and I probably shouldn't have done in hindsight. I probably should have just pushed it out anyway. Yeah, I didn't want it to become confusing that I was saying one thing, Alex saying another thing. So that was why I reverted to more broader team notes, and then the team notes should have been going through like a VOD review process more so. Yeah. Why are we talking about PaperX? Because someone asked me about PaperX, so I answered. Yeah. So that was like honestly like Wendler, I was kind of talking a lot to him about the ways that like the transition period between me being on the team and then Wendler joining the team. I was trying to, you know, give a lot of this as like notes for him to think about when it came to working with them and the ways in which like the things they can and can't do, because there are things that they they are not used to at all that are crazy, but things that like they were the by far the quickest team when I did write notes to onboard notes. I remember like specifically, I know it seems stupid, but I remember it was Icebox. I remember telling Patman, I believe, that like there are situations in which I want him to like push out a B-long. The next scrim I watched, he pushed B-long like 6 rounds. I was like, okay, this guy's cooking. Yeah. It was actually correct situations to do it too, but it was nice to see that like how quick like in Fnatic sometimes I'd make a note and it would be like 2 or 3 scrims later that like things would get enacted or tested. And then stuff might get taken too literally. Whereas with PaperX, it felt like a nice balance between them like testing things and then hopefully understanding sometimes that if I say a no, it's not literally just push this every round. It's like, please use your brain as well, you know? Like, did the booze in the final make you feel better about your team being a threat to the crowd? What? I don't remember booze in the final. The booze in the final were for Elon Musk, not for PaperX. I think we would have been. I think the crowd in 2023 was quite positive towards PaperX and probably would have been positive towards us, albeit would have wanted EG to win. The irony here is the biggest villain was Elon Musk. Oh, at lock-in. Oh, I was talking about champs. Did the boost in the final make you feel better about your team being a threat to the crowd? Make you feel better about your team being... What does that mean? Did the boost in the final make you feel better about your team being a threat to the... What does that mean, being a threat to the crowd? Why do I care about being a threat to the crowd? We want it to be a threat to our opponent. I do think that there was a certain point in which, like, we realized that, like, I've always thought that being, like, we've played in Copenhagen and we played in Istanbul, right? And being the home team felt rough at those tournaments because we were losing, and you could feel the crowd like really wanting to support us, but unable to. And so I do remember going to that final thinking at a certain point that like we could play against the crowd, if that makes sense.
2楼是个残血，我还以为不敢漏，这是什么样的打法？哦，这枪被穿到有点动不了了。
这个阵来的稍微有点晚，第一时间。
这
Okay, right, let's finish this VOD.
暗示可能要醒过来的一个回合。
Wait, let's watch the first gun round.
让下一分该怎么打？然后看看飞将能不能看到人。对局。
Heavy B stack, Omen, Sova. Okay, I mean it's anti-eco because they force ball last round.
传到一枪，
They lose anti-eco
话可能就不太现
because
实。
they fully left B.
在这分里面没有太多的手段，结过了单刀。
这一发，
而且2楼是个残血，我还以为不敢漏，这是什么样的打法？
They left B because he got dinked
不了了。
这个阵来
on
的稍微有
heaven.
点晚，第一时间。
4v3 though, what's he doing?
下圈
Oh, happy way over peeking.
后来补强，
That's a fucking shot from Bud.
这把追猎，
有变数，
但是枪没有一把捡得到。
而且中路
Lyric timing?
人的脚步有一手放到脚步了，有一手没打掉，但是又是另外把的追猎。
Bud with the bandit. Bud's got more kills this game than he has the entire game so far. Bud just tripled his kills.
个人也都做，这把对于霸的选手来说，他玩到铁壁的位置，可能有更多道具的一个 timing，或者对于
Why don't more teams do double martial high lows on eco rounds? It's basically an operator because one drone beats it. Most people agree Champs is more prestigious than Masters, and the second Masters ranks higher than first in terms of skill ceiling and prestige. Do you agree with that? I think generally the second Masters is, yeah, better than the first Masters. I think it's arguable about Champs versus second Masters, but I would say that as someone who's won 2 second Masters and not a Champs. I think Champs feels like the most prestigious for sure. I think it should. On the surface, it does. I think when you actually at the tournament and the tournament itself, I feel like the format is pretty much the same. So
他抬枪的影响。
it's like it's difficult because tangibly it's the same tournament. It's just
对，我觉得对于霸的来说，这也是一个
higher
因为他前面其实数据并不好看。
prestige.
看看这一个4杀之后，自己能不能获得更好的手感。
The problem for the teams that I've coached is it feels like we get the longer the season goes on, the more we get burnt. And so to a certain degree, maybe at champs we should we should be 180ing our comps and stuff a bit more. But it's like we play such good Valorant before champs, and the year goes usually quite well for us. That like it feels weird to 180 champs.
标记极大的缓冲了自己的经济，但是其实还不够安全，因为他没有破坏那么多的铁枪，又是那个问题啊，就 XLG 拿到了一个非常滚雪球的节点，然后标记翻回去了。
对，
Champs is about
悬念还是很大。
champs is a lot about like the teams that usually do well at champs are teams with low expectations and high potential, you know? And my team was never one of those teams. It was always a team that was just expected to do well.
刷嘎点了一个被霸补枪，他的手感似乎在逐渐的回归。现在只要多一个火力点，对标记来说都是好事。
对，但是其实第一时间王浩哲掉了。
The irony here is that 2021 champs, I think that people didn't think we were good. And I think that we used that energy a lot. And we did really well. And then we just lost to crew. We just threw to crew. Like that was annoying. We fucking blitzed the group stage, looking like one of the best teams at the tournament. We play against crew, and we lose. Like our map pool got slightly exposed, but we should have won Haven like easily. But it's one of those ones where it's like
节奏可能会拖慢一点，
现在只能 contact 了。
it's one of those ones where like
寻求一下这个对枪的机会，或者是
okay, you should have won Haven, but like who cares? You know what I mean?
拜托
Like we
这分最美妙的
there were like
是
3 rounds in which we fully fully
那
trolled.
前点一定是要得无伤能进点，
对对对，所以现在我觉得标记要打得慢慢的，然后过去去一点点往前去寻找挪，对吧？
寻找这个补枪的效率机
是的
会。
感觉要交大吗？我看到人就给大。
哇，这个黑给的有点早啊！
对，黑给的有点快，而且看到留一手了，留一手的位置被锁定，留一手赶紧击走。2楼没问题，XLG先发难，时光修罗场，方程直接给了。2楼印象，留一手补枪补了一个，能网也补了一个。
And I think that if we beat crew, we would have had a very good game against Gambit. I think we never lost to Gambit when we played them in officials. And I think we would have been like ready. I think Gambit might have been favored, but I think we would have been a tough matchup. Considering the fact they had to come back from like a, what was it, 11-6 comeback or something, with Chronicle getting that four man.
天天的背水一战。
都在2楼，2楼刚好第二时间给了颗烟，
方怎么跳烟？没
什么技能啊，
只有光速飞跃 ，No Man 要帮队友拉枪线了。小编拿的是他最爱的光速飞跃。
I think that game could have unironically changed quite a few things in Fnatic's history. The crew game.
小编已经躲过了对面的光速飞跃，我觉得
How good was Gambit back then? They're very good.
没有，绝对没有。但是无论如何，
They're just very like, they're just a plus EV team. Does that mean? Is that what you mean? Like they're just plus EV. They're just like good players, good team, making good decisions.
我觉得他们是有沟通过的，就完全是 Nef 想靠自己的个人能力帮小编去拿。
You ever had a time that you and the team felt like you were light years ahead of everyone and that you could just troll some games if it wouldn't matter because you could easily bounce back? No.
最后搞一个1v1的
Oh.
反击之后了，对，多搞一个1v1你能赢的。但是而且这一
We never thought that way. It might come across that way on server, but we never thought that way.
是 XLG 的应对太果断了。
Why did Defo never make it as far as Nats and Kron? Because he wasn't as good as Nats and Kron. He was one of those selfless entry players that wasn't actually mechanically good enough to be a selfish entry player. And I think as a duelist, you need to be able to do both.
个孤胆枪手的局面，只有一把步枪。感觉现在的 BLG 啊，在小编回来之后，大家都打得非常平均。对，但其实，在前两天的比赛里面 ，BLG 是有好几个火力点可以去站岗，换言之，平均是不够的。
对，
当然这一分 XLG 的经济其实也不够。如果这一分被翻，其实 XLG 也很难受。
来得很快。
The new no trip middle, I haven't thought about this. No trip middle means that this should be abused a lot by defense, right? Why is Shadows not finding any success in yet in tier 1? I was talking to this about Anders the other day. Shadows was probably Gambit's second or third best player. And when he joined Koi, he was role swapped and then was on Koi. And now he's on KC. And they're not doing very well. And he's an IGL. He's just not had his transition from Gambit to VCT was like a disaster of choices. Like he probably does need to be that kind of IGL player now because it's just like yeah. Because like realistically you at this point he probably isn't the player he used to be maybe. But I think that initial transition was just rough. He was one of the best flash flex players in the world. Yeah. I've heard he's not good in terms of individual decision making. This is the irony about when I interviewed Eng for a position once for an assistant coach, and he told me that Shados was actually one of the smartest players he'd worked with.
两个人已经完全被拆开了哦，被反打了一个。
还有实力吗？还有悬念吗？可以给到要枪位，提前要到，再冲击大国，18滴血。
然后这好准是正面的枪，但是血量有点太低了。
两个人加起来21滴血，实在完。那就好多 F 的话后路。
I don't know what kind of smart he meant. Maybe it was more macro than micro. I don't know. But yeah.
这样，有非常多的借助 Doma 的临时结局，而这 C90，但实际上有些时候选手的本能会帮助他们快速进入到比赛。对，这种时候其实不是看任何的因素，就是看你的选择。来吧，看一下最后这个暂停 BLG 的托付是什么。在调整方面来
Flash recon. See it. I like that player, it's nice. One of the few reasons I like Omen. That player's kind of cool. I do think you shouldn't be caught out by it, but
没星坠的烟了，应该说。主要是残局拖上面会少一个很高的保险，所以就很有可能要站在点里面去守了。
哎，看那个小脚，他这个位置的话，第二时间得退啊。
我挖想等对面出来，
他有点想去把这个历史给掰回来，
把这个人输败成4比4，
但是这个飞机有点劝退了。
劝退了。XLG 现在就整体后锁吧，就其实就等对面先看到了对面的留一手。
why is your
我觉得现在这个站位 XLG 不会主动想要去对枪的。
不要主动。
full retake?
直接推黑，那动不了，只能等对面。
Sova not ready to do anything, Heaven? Bit confused. Like we don't really care that much. We've droned. We knew there was one. We can chill.
到 Nef 先去站高点的一个位置，下去没有烟的，他会非常冒险，他最终卡住了有战略意义的位置。二楼在猛混，但金锋还是把包放了下去，bug 有大，他要推一边。二楼扫到了，要推二楼吗？要上二楼。
Oh, breach. It's nice from BOG. Really nice.
先处理掉了 Raga， 王者被冲了，王者打掉了一个，小边有大，其实这分稳久点打是有非常多的拖。
XOG kind of gave up a lot of space in 5v4, overcommitting middle. And lots, like way too much resources being used middle.
说吧，就其实就等对面先看到对面的留一手。我觉得现在就看 XLG 主动想。那金锋还是把包放了下去，bug 有大，他要推一边。二楼扫到了，要推二楼吗？
Is there ever a time you felt like we did everything according to what we prepared, but this opponent's just smoking the lights out of us? Pardon me. No. No, not really. No. Either it would be that we didn't prepare that much to the point where like we had a specific game plan that was getting disrupted, or the reasons we were losing were not because of that. That's be a hard thing about upgrades if you win a trophy. Alternate histories of 2023 roster if you won against Korean Gambit. Oh, 2021 roster. You mean? Oh, you mean you wouldn't get the 2023 roster for that 2021? I mean, that's kind of what I'm implying to some degree, but I think a good coach knows. Like, honestly, you kind of know. Like, I think that there's a very there's two things that I think historically it's like there is a huge divide between like sometimes a team would end up doing well and then kick players and then everything goes to shit and people are like, oh, that must be the reason. But I think behind closed doors often like the win of a trophy sometimes comes at the wrong time where like the team was dysfunctional and needed changes, but they randomly won a trophy. That's happened in like other games that I've like worked within or know about. And then the other on the other hand, like I think that like that's one of my strengths when I was working in Fnatic early on was knowing like even if a player's playing decently, you still have to keep making upgrades. For what it's worth, like I think that PaperX made the correct decision, despite them looking a little bit weaker at this very second. I didn't work in CS, but I knew enough about CS and was adjacent to it enough to know. Or even like when I was playing like at a low level, there'd be this thing where like a team that I was like, I knew would like make a change and people were like, what the fuck, why did they do that? And then they suddenly like be shit. And I think I knew that like, it probably wasn't really the change that... There's this thing where like in America, where like, you know, after champs, like people are always like, oh, don't change your roster, like just make sure you don't fall apart or whatever. It's very like American centric, I feel like, but I'm not sure how much I agree with it. The G2 thing, even EG, I guess, to some degree. Fast way let ult flood, but we're not in time. We're not in a position to flood. I saw that opening and I was like, I would do that, but maybe not in a pro game. it's not necessarily about friction, Cal, as much as because I don't think the teams that like I think teams almost give up and have no expectations, and that's why they randomly win a trophy. There are like ones that go dysfunctional. I don't think it's necessarily the friction makes them really dig deep into why they're losing and strategy and stuff. I think almost that's harmful. I think it's just the fact that they kind of give up a little bit and they kind of free themselves of this burden. I think Champs is all about freeing yourself from the burden of expectations. Like almost every Champs winning team was a team that was either like was unburdened in some way, I feel like. The Counter-Strike dead team theory, I don't know anything about this, but I think it's probably exactly that. Yeah, it's probably exactly that. Thank you, Divine Reaper. Thank you for the sub. Welcome, Teal Zygot. It's easy for outsiders to judge and react most of the time based on what we see. I felt like the problem is I'm not an outsider. Like I'm not like I know that it feels like I'm commenting on other teams, but like I know more information about teams than the average person would. Players very stupidly say things. The Counter-Strike Dead team theory is basically a team still has a tournament to play, but their members know they're not fully a part of the team anymore. It dissolves, leaves, and they're afraid of the pressure. Yeah, honestly, it's that exactly. Like that has happened in Valorant. That has happened in Valorant. I should have used that more though at Champs. I should have just said a player, you're probably getting kicked, and then see them go lights out, you know? I think Mystic had a good Champs 2022. Partly because he was, I think Colin had said something that like Colin probably, I think he said something, and he did play better, I think, because of it. But ultimately, he was kind of doomed because Chronicle. Sorry. Big flank. BOG pushing out. Should be pretty easy for BOG here. Plant's not for them though here. The first seeds of Masters are weaker in comparison to other first seed tournaments. I mean, it's just unexpected first seeds. It doesn't mean they're weaker. If you can't do the analysis to figure out if you think they're weaker or not, then that's on you. And I don't know yet because I've not watched all the first seeds. I think that it's slightly worrying that inexperienced teams are missing reps at the tournament and being put straight into the bracket. Yeah, I think Longshim's probably good. Like, I haven't watched Longshim yet, though, so I can't comment. I can't comment on Fury either. I guess am I copium-ing here? I think Fury are probably good. And I think that, like, but now in context of their run, I think that you can only play the hands you're dealt. And so they've won every game. They played the hands you're dealt, they won every game. But in context, if you were to inspect this deeper, you would say they beat Crew with a sub-team, and not a very good team right now. A team playing Breach on 2 maps, and a team that didn't qualify to the event. They beat G2, but G2 played Breach on 2 maps. They weren't playing their double duelist. So I think that like I will be watching this game very closely and maybe even have to watch other Furia games to get a better opinion on where I think they lie. But in terms of like bracket luck to some degree, they played all the right teams at the right times. I think this was like obviously impressive because MIBR at the end of the day. But fundamentally that team still didn't qualify. You know? It's up for debate whether Fury would have beat a double duelist G2. I think that it probably would have been G2, but they're better on the day. I mean, it's not really my point. Fury look really good. I wouldn't sleep on them. I'm not sleeping on them. I'm giving a reason to doubt. That's not the end of my analysis. Obviously, I'm going to watch them and see what I think. But there is a reason for me to be slightly skeptical walking in, albeit ready to be impressed, because I enjoy the fact that they are doing very well. Like, I'm happy for them. And at the end of the day, you can only play what's in front of you. You can't help that situation. They're a good example of a team that unburdens himself. I think that's probably true. I think that the deeper they go into tournaments, I wonder if it starts to burden them at all. And I wonder if people like me saying what I just said helps with the unburdening. BLG are getting into positions a lot. Again. It feels like SLG is always in retake. And they're never flanking or doing anything super proactive. If I'm XOG, I'm probably looking to do this thing again, to be honest. Oh. That's pretty bad. It's a 5v3. He's just W keying. My team was plus 30. If he doesn't perform like that every game, it's hard for mates. Yeah, but at the same time, is it the case that are we reasonably expecting a -25 and -17 from Starzo every game? I don't think it's as clear cut as this guy broke the kill record. These two underperformed in this game. Whilst I think that your expectations could be lowered slightly because of that, and like you can't expect someone to keep doing that. It's weird that someone playing really well is like taken as a negative almost.
上相当的关键。Nomad 没有对过Lucia爆。是，而且还比维尼。
Yeah, more confidence in mates than BBR.
上了一个史迪血儿 buff 之后，也就指着。
Because I think they should have beat BBR by winning Abyss. Yeah, but at the same time, BBR probably should have won. BBR should have won even, in my opinion. A little bit less obvious, but.
这分悬崖边是看到在 B 包
太加剑的配合，用掉了 Raga 唯一发闪和 Leo 的剑，来拿到了 HOM 无人的信息，已经完全。
They just never
A 点顶出来了
fake A.
但是这个包直接假戏真做，
对啊，直接来了。
It's kind of funny. I like how this site's become like a. You don't actually have to like it's kind of like what BBL's theory is, like you don't actually have to come up here to know it's free, and then you can kind of fuck around here and still get up. Is it true that MIB are considering to drop for now? I highly doubt it.
A 点顶出来了
但是这个包 Raga 没动。
I heard Zontic say CS say that Chalice they exercise and got 8 hours sleep on peak performance for peak match days. Did the players to do that for Fnatic? I feel like 8 extra hours of prac and 3 Red Bulls would be just as effective. Okay. We had a performance coach. The Astralis performance coach thing was overblown, I think, and over PR'd. I think they just did some basic performance coaching like every other team does nowadays. They were probably one of the first to do it though. Rouge, yeah, is hitting a lot of lurk kills. Yeah, XRG weren't in position to hold a site once on this defense. I don't know what the solution is, but a little bit concerning. Oh my god, it's fraud. Who knows top 3 IGO mechanics was? Unfortunately, mechanics on an IGO isn't one of the top. It's probably like 3rd on your list of important things. Is that the real fraud? I would highly doubt it.
这个点数你要拿的，兄弟，那绝对没道理的。
那现在 Noman 是直接刷出大招来了。
对，2个击杀加1个能量点，这一把有可能能拿到30个击杀了，他已经28个了。
这才是第一个加持。
他们现在就。
Cloud had an amazing coach, amazing IGO with players that saw and agreed with the vision.
感觉不用找，因为他们现在
And Device was a star? I mean, they had like 3 star players back then.
现在等留一手的第2颗烟生成。
看看对手会不会在防守方出来去拿一下信息，抓到这个对枪的机会。
来了，留一手2颗烟在手。
标记第一波是扛不太住的，所以变得只能是选择站在前点。
How did they all die on this A main? They keep fighting A main like this and dying.
里面可能会撞上人，直接抢人，王浩哲被震，抢完有等第2颗烟。
Dying here on your A main fights is kind of fucked.
他们把边小边的位置被
接的太多了。
The re-hit into 3. How did they win this defense round? Again, they're on the wrong side of the map.
要到了 A 厅无人的可能会过来。是的，非常懂对面大概的架枪位置。
BLG overcook?
对枪，我
Wait, what?
Lucia 跟王浩哲2个人拿了下来，非
可以
常
打一波 B 点，
I mean, yeah. BLG should win this round, right?
有点难受啊。
What does Happy Way do here?
头顶没人能帮忙看了。烟落下来，还没先接住了。
Okay, only 1.
混烟混得很漂亮。
Flank for the first time.
多一人。
Okay, this is why they lost the round if they do. Why the fuck is Neff rushing? This guy needs to stay back and watch flank. They don't have a sentinel.
只能看等队友那边先动。
Okay, they flipped the map instead, which is fair.
只能看刘一手和 Raga 两个。
Bud's in a bad spot though.
而且看刘手这个黑是不是有推啊？不然的话没有什么反击的手段，近贴到近一点。
Leo 这边先顶了一波，但是留一手一倒。
I thought it was 14-12.
对，口子6这个位置很难出来。
Raga 是把狙 ，Raga 换到了步枪，被惊了原地直接红飞。这一分 ，Bud 又是帮队友。
Oh, it's not 14-12.
慢，整整6忘记先拿到分 ，BLG 拿到了终结。再往前的比赛去。
Hey, gamer.
当他们打得非常顺服
Elmo.
就点火嘛，对吧？
对，
把整个队伍点着。但是今天我觉得 Noman 也没有能够做到这一点。
但是他其实队员跟他一起打出更多的关键枪。
Noman 还是在跟队友去
Many boo Boo Raga in the same team in the fast? I have no idea. don't I don't think so, but maybe they were.
还是要打更多的这种，就比如说放点打护防啊，或者扛点反清的时候，对吧？
I just normally involved in macro aspects outside of the game, like meta reads or comps. Any IGL that I would work with has to be involved in that stuff. I think it's stupid for them not to be. But there are plenty of IGLs that probably aren't.
也相当于是一个半堵点，做了一个非常重防的必须的布设。
Pretty much what Kyle said. The good ones are.
自己玩，王浩哲想回来拿信息，哎呦，走。那这波的一个
Consistently good ones are.
中路是对面飞机巡逻舰全交，啊，巡逻舰留着，交了一个飞机被扎到了，应该是王浩哲。
觉得标记就是不动啊，
飞机其实是一个障碍，3B 的。
B hit into 3 with a flank. I mean, BOG are in a good spot here. Recon's nice though. Oh, nice stun. This duel is pretty much decider. Okay, 3v2. It should be BLG. Biank. Happy way. It's just happy way in it. It's just happy way. Individual diff. Defense timeout. Good timeout. Ah, we do see that that's the adjustment being. I do feel like a genius sometimes, that like when I'm just like, hey, I think that they should probably do this more, and then coach timeout comes in. Maybe not the 4-man with the open B side, but how that kill won them the round? That's crazy. Because surely this is it, right? It's 15-13. What? No, it's not. No, it's not. There's one more set of rounds to be played. I think that like to push out is cool, but like don't do it for people. Like we do need people B. I think I'd be like 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. With a fast rotate here, fast here. Isn't Boo benched? That's sad. Wait, what? Where have you seen this? How's XG looking so far? Pretty right. All right. Not bad.
而且是一个激进的顶出，
这是前面 Raga 的位置，
开翼顶出来的，
完全不漏 XLG。
但车来了，
对，还要想去把前面的位置拿更多。
找到了，要锁 Noma 嘛？感觉那个位置 Noma 其实不太好被锁死，给镇要枪位，
直接走了。
我觉得应该会有一些反应吧，为什么这么激进的往外顶？
懂了，确实也很懂，
这太不寻常了。
I don't understand. This guy gonna be doing anything? Ever?
管道第二时间也来了。
张两边就在一起，把自己无人机的技能都交掉了，对吧？一边是太湖，一边是猎枭。
对，其实而且我觉得从复盘视角上来说，这个小社交的挺一般的。
What? What?
这个位置。
Oh my god! Both of them.
没听到，我感觉没听到这个声音。
不是，相互都没看到。
对，也没看到。
那已经出去了呀，人出去了呀。
Raga 有可能会往左看吗
Does he ever take that TP? That's a mental TP to try and take.
是卢思亚守的 B 点，
楼梯要到了，这个位置完全不知道。
侧身，
两个。
Okay.
绝不手软。Raga 打到另外一边，但是来不及了，正面就完全倒地。Raga 右面对面。
Yeah, BLG win this map. BLG must win this map in the end. I feel like that's crazy though. That's crazy.
因为你之前一直在浪费机会，这种机会类似于网球当中的破发，当你错过这种机会的时候，你一定会被惩罚，你在自己的发球区可能会守不住。现在就看压力给到小鸡的时候，他们的选择是什么？能够接着冷静的去接人，还是又像上个 BO 的最后一分那样，所有人陷入到本能的对抗当中。水城把王二送到中路，利用张云，利用黑障长期把这个中路长期遮盖掉了。张华应该是要打一个夹 A， 然后 Nef 会选择去断后。
我觉得 Leo 这个位置压力会比较大。
这个人又也被迫，然后他会顶出来，直不看中路，找的点都没有，再加上对面。
They're not doing anything, man. They don't do anything on this defense. The only thing they do is this. They did this once with the 4-man and once with the 2-man. I think they need to be far more active.
冷，如果飞脸上打配合，他是必死的。而且猎枭一般都喜欢站在2楼设计。防守方依然没有动。
这个烟一散要打一波了。
It's hard with this comp to play defense. I'm not gonna lie, but
他是进行接触过来的。
need some more proactivity.
25秒，防守方要回防到位了。
It's really nice by Wesley. Yeah. BLG aren't bad either. Thoughts on Vito, Chamber, or Abyss? Do you think you need the double drone for attack? On Abyss, you don't need double drone. I don't think. You don't need double drone on attack. Chamber Veto. I've not thought too hard about Chamber Veto. Chamber Veto was a combo that I thought would be interesting, albeit not popular. I didn't think it would be. What's that get to say? Guys from Riot focus on fixing gameplays rather than spreading fake rumors. What the fuck is he talking about? I know the game's kind of fucked right now, but oh, one of their main players had heart palpitation right before the finals. Oh, I think BLG looked decent. Yeah, they look alright. I think I was unimpressed by All Gamers' like strategic fundamentals for our first seed team, but I think that watching more, I'm like less low on China as a region, but I still think that they're gonna struggle. Let's raid Meg. Or Durka. I guess raid Durka. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll be around tomorrow to watch some more EDG. I'm reviewing every region, every finals, but I'm doing China first. Yeah, BLG had us up. Oh, it wouldn't be a party. My friends don't do parties. See you guys in a bit.